agreed to is that training camp was too long. The extra week, they are raring to go, and so are we. Great to be back with Brian Greasy and Tom McShay. I'm Steve Levy. They played this game for 33 years straight, and then they stopped. Haven't met in 12 years. These players know nothing about the rivalry, Grease.
You know what? We've had a great opening weekend of college football, but what a unique and special opportunity we have here tonight to reawaken a rivalry game, right? The opening night for these two teams. We got Beamer in the house. We got Nealon in the house. 51 times these teams have played. It's going to be awesome.
And I can assure you there's not one neutral fan in the building of the better than 80,000 on hand. Will Greer is the Big 12 Newcomer of the Year. That's interesting. He's hardly a rookie. Flat-out stud back in high school. Then was humming along and singing a song in Florida. 5 starts, led the Gators to 6-0, then hit a big bump in the road.
Yeah, and it's hard to believe. You know, he makes a mistake almost 2 years ago, and he's down. He's depressed. He has to transfer. He has to serve a suspension. He's been waiting 2 years for this moment tonight, but he's going to be going up pretty good defense.
Greer says he is twice the player he is here today than he was at Florida. For more on that, where's my man McShay? Take it away.
Levy, listen, we're going to talk all the physical traits about Greer throughout this game, but the thing that really jumped out to me when I went back to the 2015 season was Greer's composure in big situations. Tennessee was a perfect example. He struggled for 3 quarters. Then in the 4th quarter, they get the ball with 10 minutes left, trailing by 13 points. He has 2 opportunities on 2 drives. What does he do? 11 for 17 passing, 2 touchdowns, including a 4th and 13 situation where he hit for a 63-yard touchdown in that game. Unbelievable performance by him. That really, to me, it was his signature moment. Listen, West Virginia doesn't want to be in that situation, trailing 13 in the 4th quarter, but they know they've got a guy who can bring him back.
Todd, he's going to need every bit of that composure because tonight in this environment, going up against the legendary lunch pail defense and Bud Foster, Tremaine Edmonds, they're going to have something in store for Will Greer.
You cannot have a legendary rivalry without having 2 all-time great head coaches. Frank Beamer and Don Nealon, both in the house. Nealon thought he'd be having a hot fudge sundae tonight. He'll be watching from the field.
Guys, just relax. We're here for dinner. And I'll have the duck. Oh, it's on now.
Back at FedEx Field, they have banged out the building for 22nd ranked West Virginia, 21st ranked Virginia Tech. It's a gorgeous night for football after rain poured down here yesterday at 70 degrees and clear for a rivalry that started back in 1912. This will be the 52nd time they ever meet, only the 4th when both are ranked, and we are underway. And the season underway for West Virginia and Virginia Tech. And as usual, Joey Sly kicks it out of the end zone for the touchback. And there's the man everyone's buzzing about, Will Greer.
Yep, if you just flipped on the game and you're wondering where Will Greer ended up, he ended up in Morgantown, West Virginia. We talked a little bit about how he got here. His start at Florida, 6-0, very impressive. Then he had to pay his penance for the mistake. But make no mistake, after 694 days, Steve, there is nobody on either one of these teams that has been waiting longer than this man to throw the football.
That was the concern. So excited they'd have to calm him down, keep him out of harm's way. Here's Greer rolling to his left and throwing across his body, center of the field to Karan White. Makes the catch. And West Virginia on the move. Gain of 32.
That's Karan White. And I don't think that he caught that football. They're going pretty fast here. Snap the foot.
Yes, he did. Oh, no, they didn't.
Didn't get it off.
That was very close to the stoppage. You can clearly see on the replay that football hit the turf.
Previous plays under further review. The ruling on the field was a reception.
I don't even think we have to check with Bill LeMonnier on this one, but he is here with us in the booth just in case. Bill?
Well, I appreciate that.
Welcome, Bill.
Obviously, the officials on the field did not see the loose ball trapped underneath. This shouldn't take long for replay to take a look at this and reverse this to an incomplete pass. And they're probably going to have to put some time back on the clock due to the incomplete pass.
Bill, this was a lot closer than I thought initially, but I think you're right. Pretty heads-up play here by Will Grier in this West Virginia offense. They almost got that ball snapped.
Well, they had to run so far down the field.
Yeah.
That took time. If that's a 10-yard gain, they probably do get it away. Referee today is Jerry McGinn. Our officials are from the Big Ten. When we last saw Virginia Tech, they were beating Arkansas in the Belk Bowl. West Virginia lost to Miami in the Russell Athletic Bowl. I was going to say we're 20 seconds in. We got our first review, but I think we're going to be less than 20 seconds in when they put the time back on the clock. Jerry, talk to me.
After further review, the ball did skip. It's an incomplete pass. He's second down and 10 on the 25-yard line, left hash. Clock operators, please put 14:55, 14:55 on the game clock.
You know, it's an interesting approach for Jake Spavital, the new offensive coordinator. It's worth mentioning early on in this game that Dana Holgorsen is no longer calling the plays for West Virginia. It is Jake Spavital. They have been on the numerous staffs together. Jake comes over from 1 year the Cal Bears.
So off the incompletion, second and 10 now from the 25. It's Justin Crawford out of the backfield, and he is stopped for a loss by Adonis Alexander. Hey, Todd, what's your take on Will Grier?
Well, Grier, you go back and study his tape from 2015. Really good when he has short to intermediate throws, especially to stationary receivers. He's poised, he'll hang in the pocket, and he's more mobile than I think he gets credit for. Where he has to improve is the trajectory and consistency of his deep ball.
Might see a deep ball here on third down and 11 on the 24. Good pocket for Grier. And excellent defense. Knocked aside by Terrell Edmonds. Makes the play on Gary Jennings. Edmonds is everywhere on that Virginia Tech defense.
We're going to talk about both Edmonds brothers. Tremaine, the linebacker, and this is Terrell. You're going to see a crossing route. Gary Jennings trying to get open. There's a lot of defenders, Hokie defenders, in the middle of that field. Terrell Edmonds can run, he can hit, he can blitz. He does it all for Bud Foster.
Billy Kinney is back to punt and puts it in the air from his own 12. Greg Stroman calling for the fair catch. And that's where Virginia Tech will take over at their own 32-yard line, a 43-yard punt. Nothing doing on the return. Josh Jackson, Grease, tell me what he's feeling. His first time as a starting college quarterback.
You know,
right now.
Leaves, there is no feeling in the world, in your life really, like your first start in college football. Obviously, Josh Jackson's got a lot of butterflies going through him right now, but he comes from a football family. His father, Fred, a longtime assistant coach at Michigan. But you see, the first freshman to start since a Michael Vick. He can't put that pressure on himself. He just has to play his game.
And he's passing on first down. See if they give him a safe completion, and they do. To Cam Phillips. Hakeem Bailey on the coverage there. And you know Josh Jackson, when he's out there, he's got a big piece of Fred with him. And it's much more than just the number 17.
Yeah, he wears the number 17 for his dad, Fred. There's Fred. I asked Josh who was going to be more nervous for this game, Josh or his dad. He said by far his dad.
Second down and 6. After the short confidence-building completion.
The 17 was Fred's number. when he was a quarterback at Jackson State and wasn't able to play quarterback in the NFL. And Josh wanted to honor his dad by wearing his number, playing quarterback.
Fred thought he deserved a better fate. Here's Jackson going to keep it to his left, and he'll lose a yard on the play. Toyas Avery came up to make the stop. And what they were concerned about the coaching staff of the young quarterback was they want to protect him from 3rd and 12. Keep him out of those spots. And, all right, it's a little more manageable. Here's 3rd and 7.
Yeah, I love the first down call. Quick out, get him into some rhythm, and get ahead of the sticks. And this is a manageable 3rd down situation. I was impressed with the demeanor of Josh Jackson. We talked to him this week. Very calm, collected, very smart quarterback.
3 receivers, bottom of your screen. Jackson's all alone in the backfield.
Yeah, you see him right now checking at the line of scrimmage, reading the defense.
5 on the play clock. Gets it away. Jackson will throw. Batted up in the air and nearly intercepted. Xavier Preston got the big arm up there to knock it away, and it'll bring up a 4th down.
One of the things you try to do to a young quarterback is bring a linebacker up. There's Preston right there. He acts like he's going to rush, but then he pops out. And quarterbacks sometimes lose vision on those guys, and Jackson never saw Preston. Lucky it wasn't intercepted.
Oscar Bradburn back for his first career collegiate punt. One of the Australian kickers flooding into United States college football. And so each team has had a shot with a football. That's a 33-yard punt. Will Grier, second chance at the football. We come back. Quite a few brilliant coaching minds have made their way to Landover. Of course, that's our Mac Brown on the left. Frank Beamer and Don Nealon. The 2 were honored earlier in the game today. Hope to hear from both of them later. We'll see Mac at halftime with Kevin Nagandi and Booger McFarland. On 1st down and 10, here's Grier out throwing and completing to David Sills, and he's running away from people, and he's got the 1st down. Tremaine Edmonds got there, but not in time.
You know, the biggest difference this year for West Virginia will be Dana Holgorsen not calling plays on offense. We talked to him at length in his 7th year. He felt like it was time to give up that to Jake Spavor.
Handoff to Justin Crawford. He stumbles forward for a stop. Vinny Mahota made the tackle.
Steve, I think that's a sign of the maturity of Dana Holgorsen, right? He was talking to us about it. One was, you know, Jake Spavor said, listen, I'm not coming there to be a quarterback coach. I need to call plays, right? I'm at that point in my career, and he has enough experience with Dana that he trusts him. He's not going to second guess him when he's calling plays.
On 2nd down and 8. Here's Grier in some trouble trying to run out of it. No can do. Tim Settle, part of that 48 defense for Virginia Tech, and the big fellas look so funny with numbers 4 and 8, single digits.
Yeah, they do. They're going to come just on a little stunt like this, and this offensive line for West Virginia is soft in the middle. At center and right guard, they have new players. They're good at the tackle positions, but Bud Foster, Settle, and this defensive line know if they're going to get to Will Grier, they're going to come from the inside.
And make no mistake, it's not a 4-8 defense. We understand that. Those are just the uniform numbers for Settle and Walker. Here's 3rd down and 12. Grier has lots of time. Good loft on the football. It's up for grabs. And Sills can't haul it in. Reggie Floyd, good coverage along with Terrell Edmonds.
They got the matchup that they wanted with Sills, the tall wide receiver, on Reggie Floyd as safety. I think this throw is affected by the pressure. Either way, great position by Floyd. Edmonds there as well. This defense for Virginia Tech, they lost a couple of pieces, but they returned 8 guys on the defense. Expect big things from them this season.
Motua Pawaka got Grier around the legs. That's the pressure you're talking about. Greg Stroman will call for another fair catch at the 33, pretty much the same spot. Looking for a 1st down and then some. We come back.
The Capital One Sunday Night Kickoff on ABC is brought to you by the Capital One Venture Card. Earn unlimited double miles on every purchase every day. What's in your wallet? And in part by Nissan. Innovation that excites.
Welcome back to FedEx Field. I'm here with 2 legendary coaches, Don Nealon, Frank Beamer. 440 wins between these 2. I'm going to ask you each, first of all, Don, when you think about this rivalry, what has it meant to you?
Well, I think it's one of the great rivalries in college football. And I know when Frank and I was coaching, the stadium was always packed, and it's obvious it's still packed. It's a great rivalry. Close to the border, and our fans get excited. His fans get excited, so it's a great game.
You've had a lot of great moments in the rivalry. Is there one that stands out the most?
Well, there were several. You know, back when we were going to get to see each other, back in the Big East days, we both came into the game ranked. One of us ranked, or both of us ranked. And then our kids played hard and tough, and our fan base both ways are just great people and great support.
I heard if you weren't here tonight, you were going to be watching the game from your couch eating an ice cream sundae, so go get one. Appreciate it. Thank you very much. Pleasure to talk to you guys. Take care. Back to you, Steve.
Thank you, Todd. Both look wonderful, don't they?
Two princes right there.
Don Nehlen already in the College Football Hall of Fame. I believe Frank Beamer gets the call. He's on the ballot upcoming for the first time.
All of us that love college football owe them a debt of gratitude.
2nd down and 5. Hand off to Peoples, pushing his way forward, and he has enough, just enough for the first down. Let me say that in my college football play-by-play life, BG before Greasy, I got a lot of Virginia Tech, and Frank Beamer was always my single favorite coach to visit with during the week and cover. Just outstanding. Could be BG, I guess, too. 1st down and 10, they're across midfield. It's across that Redskins logo. A week from today, the Redskins will be home, taking on the Philadelphia Eagles, open up the NFL season. Handoff to Peoples. He'll gain a couple.
Quietly, Steve, as we were talking to those two legendary coaches, this offensive line for Virginia Tech is taking a hold of this game. Running the ball between the tackles on 4 consecutive plays. We get a first down, and a nice chunk on first down here. This offensive line up front, watch number 57, Wyatt Teller. He's one of the best offensive guards I've seen on tape in a while. He is a nasty player up front.
Trayvon McMillan checks in now, replacing Peoples. Here's Jackson. He's going to keep that right from the beginning. And he is taken down by Kaiser White. No gain.
You're going to see some freshmen playing for Virginia Tech. This is a true freshman tight end, Dalton Keene, and just not ready for the speed of White off the edge. That's what happens when you play some freshmen on the front line.
Coach told us of White, he is a freak of nature in the best possible way. Kaiser White, 3rd and 7 upcoming. And whistles.
West Virginia's going to call a timeout.
Timeout.
6 left on the play clock.
West Virginia. That is their first of the half. It'll be a full charge. Timeout.
So we've had a few first downs. Still looking for our first few points. And what you'd expect to be a close game. Back in Landover, Tony Gibson, for the 2nd straight year, has to replace 8 starters, Grease.
Yeah, no problem for Tony Gibson. He's done that for 2 years, and he was the 2nd best scoring defense in the Big 12 in 15. He was the best defense last year. No problem.
He looks cool and calm to me. We welcome you back for a key 3rd and 7. Send McMillan in motion, top of your screen. Here's Jackson, after the clock. Rolling to his right. Trying to pick up the first down. He'll be banged out of bounds. Mike Daniels got there to bring up a 4th down.
Good coverage downfield. He's looking left, surveys the field, escapes, extends the play, and nice hustle. Up front, they're going to go for it on 4th and 1, Steve.
First big play of the game.
This is an all-out blitz. There is no safety in West Virginia's backfield. I think they're going to call a timeout, Justin Fuentes, and get on the same page as to what he wants. That's a good timeout.
Big play.
Timeout. Virginia Tech will be the first of the half.
You're in that area of the field where it makes sense to go for it on 4th down, and with a young quarterback, sometimes it's useful to burn that timeout just to see what West Virginia is going to do defensively.
Time now for our legendary moment. Brought to you by Destiny 2.
Oh, vintage.
You know, when Todd asked Frank Beamer about it, I thought he was going to bring up the '99 game, the Michael Vick scramble that people are still talking about all these years later. Good for 26 yards, and then Sayana, Shane Graham from 44 yards away. The miracle in Morgantown.
You know, Beamer is too nice of a guy to bring that up in front of Nealon, right?
Nealon hasn't changed a bit. But that is the signature game in the series. People are still buzzing about Michael Vick.
And that was the year that Virginia Tech, for people that don't remember, went on to the national championship game and ended up losing to Florida State. What a year, though, with Michael Vick leading the charge.
You see your name up on the screen next to Michael Vick.
It's probably a good thing Josh can't see the TV screen right now.
Think his dad's recording it?
Well, they talked about it on the sideline, and they're going to go for it. I don't blame them. You know, this drive, the first 4 runs inside the tackles were outstanding. 7th play of the drive now, all runs.
It's Jackson, the quarterback. He'll keep it, has the first down and then some. Breaking through into the secondary before White takes him down. Needed 1, got 7.
You know, he's a strong runner, Jackson is. He's not Gerard Evans. They're not going to run as much as they did with Evans at quarterback, but he can run and break some tackles.
Gerard Evans was their leading rusher a year ago. Here's Jackson in the air. It's caught. Cam Phillips to the goal line. Stopped just shy of the goal line. Jackson showing all the abilities on back-to-back plays.
And Cam Phillips with the patience to run that route on the outside. They had the exact look they wanted. And they get it down inside the 2.
Good for 28. They needed 29. Here's Jackson. Stumbles forward. Some good defensive pressure there by Al-Rashid Benton.
That's the 3rd play in a row. Same play from Virginia Tech, right? The 4th down call, they run Josh Jackson. Then they have the same look with the play action over the top. They try to call it one more time with the QB power. And finally, West Virginia's defensive line says enough.
2nd down and goal. Dalton Keene, the tight end, is checked in. He's in the backfield with McMillan now. And we got a flag.
False start. Offense, number 61. 5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
Greasy shaking his head. He's been there.
Well, you know, sometimes you have a young quarterback down there. It's loud, and if you change the snap count at all, especially with a new player, that's Kyle Chung. He's a senior, but he hadn't played at all. And now you've backed yourself up to 2nd and goal from the 7.5, and different play call for Justin Fuente.
2nd down and goal. Off the play action to throw, and the throw just too low. Cam Phillips trying to dig it off the grass in the end zone. Bring up a 3rd and goal.
Boy, they had the look that they wanted. And that ball just came out low. He's open, and Josh Jackson knows it. Cam Phillips, 2 plays in the last 4-play sequence where he should have had a touchdown. Gotta be smart here for Josh Jackson.
3rd and goal on what's been a tremendous drive so far for the Hokies. Here's Jackson. Lofts it in the end zone. And Cam Phillips had no chance. Outstanding coverage by Mike Daniels, the senior from Miami.
Yeah, and that ball kind of was in between. You either want to throw the fade to the back pylon and let Cam Phillips go get it, or you want to throw it on a line to the back shoulder. That throw was in between both of them and never had a chance for Cam Phillips. If you're Josh Jackson, you don't want to get over on the sideline and talk to Cam Phillips. Get on the same page. He's your best player on offense, and you're going to need to have that connection throughout the course of the night to win.
Here's Joey Slye from 25 yards away. Snap is perfect. The hold is good, and so too is the field goal. And Virginia Tech breaks the seal on the scoreboard. Hokies the 3-0 lead. Nearly had 7 after a fabulous drive. Back in Landover, Maryland. 12 plays, 58 yards. Key play was a 28-yard pass play. But all they can manage in the end is a field goal after an impressive drive. 3-0 in favor of Virginia Tech. Sly will kick it away. He was #1 in the nation in touchbacks. In fact, they can't even practice indoors with him kicking off because he bangs it off the practice facility wall every time. Hard to practice kickoff returns that way. Hey, closing out our 5-star Labor Day weekend tomorrow night. 25th ranked Tennessee will take on Georgia Tech. It'll be the second sporting event in the Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta. Coverage starts 8 p.m. Eastern on ESPN. Of course, streaming live on the ESPN app. We look forward to that one.
It'll be interesting to see what Paul Johnson does at quarterback. He loses Justin Thomas, his great quarterback for the last 3 years. And he's going to be breaking in a new one, but he's had some success.
Third possession for West Virginia, all starting out at the 25. They come out with a completion to David Sills, his second reception. They'll bring up a second down and short. Actually, it was so short it was a first down. Got just enough for the first. Here's Gary Jennings now, who can do just about everything. He's a first-time starter. There's a whole lot of skills. Mook Reynolds made the tackle.
This is an aggressive Virginia Tech defense. I know we say that all the time about Bud Foster and his defense, but it's led by number 49, Tremaine Edmonds. 6'5", 250 pounds. Very unique size at his position.
Crawford, the ball carrier. He's out to the 35. Reggie Floyd made the stop.
I mean, talking with Bud Foster, said he really hasn't had a player that size at that position, but he's such an athletic player. He's very instinctive, strong, and can get hands on balls in the middle of the field. Had 106 tackles a year ago, and they build this front seven around 49.
Big part of that third down defense. Third down defense that was third in the country a season ago. Here's Greer, steps up and throws, and it's off the hands of Karan White. And it'll be another 3 and out for West Virginia.
And that's a play Karan White's got to make. And he's coming back. He missed last part of the last season with a broken leg, but you got to catch that football, break inside, and get the first down line, and give your defense a rest. It just got off the field.
Billy Kinney back to punt. The 20. Greg Stroman is back deep and going deeper to his 18. One fair catch at this time, and Stroman will fall forward out to the 22-yard line.
Well, so far, Josh Jackson felt like he's been pretty calm, and he hasn't panicked. The stage hasn't been too big for him. He's pulled it down and tried to run a couple of times. He got a first down on the 4th and 1, then comes right back with play action over the top off the same exact look and takes advantage. This guy's got a little something to him, Leaves. I've been impressed with him early in this game.
What's interesting to me is, Grease, and the people over during commercial breaks, you're watching Jackson, you're seeing his demeanor. Even when the defense is on the field, you like what you see, even with the helmet off.
Well, after that last touchdown he missed to Cam Phillips, I wanted to see what he did on the sideline. Did he go up to Cam Phillips and talk to him? And he did, and that's a good sign for a quarterback because you want to be on the same page with the receiver.
Off the play fake, Jackson the throw, got a man across the middle, Cam Phillips. 6th consecutive throw to Phillips, every one of them, and that one's complete for a big gain.
I'm impressed too with Jackson in terms of his just mental alertness and how he's operating this offense, how quickly he's getting in and out of plays. Really smart quarterback.
22 on the play there. Here's Stephen Peoples on the left side for the Peoples. Akeem Bailey makes the stop.
See what you did there. You know, we oftentimes wonder, you know, quarterback who is a son of a coach, what's the difference? And sometimes it parlays. Both of these quarterbacks in this game, Josh Jackson and Will Greer, are sons of coaches. And you can tell in the way they play the game.
Jackson will hang on to that one and throw across his body. It was behind Sean Savoy, the intended target. Too far behind him. It's become a cliche. It seems like as we travel around the country, every kid in major Division I college football is a coach's kid, and they all played quarterback at some point growing up. But Jackson has that football IQ that you only get with being around programs forever, like at Michigan.
Well, he got a pretty special call this week. On Tuesday, he got a call from the GOAT, the real GOAT. It's Tom Brady, who was on the team with Tom in Michigan, and Fred was one of our coaches. And Freddie asked him to call Josh and give him some advice this week, and he did.
I imagine he would advise him to pick up the occasional first down. That's throwing that away. That's a smart play, actually. Nothing there for him, and he'll throw it away.
Well, that's a safe call there by Brad Cornelson, the offensive coordinator, on third down, expecting blitz, roll out. You have two receivers, and if it's not there, throw it away.
Of course, Josh did ruin Greasy's week. He said, how old were you exactly when I was at Michigan? We had to put a little minus in front of it, like -1. Kid wasn't even born.
Oh, boy. A lot of gray hairs.
Oscar Bradburn got some pressure. Gary Jennings let it go over his head, and that's a good play and into the end zone for a touchback. Down to the field, and Todd.
I thought it was pretty funny that he said, Brady called. We said, what did you say to him when he told you to just relax and go out there and be you? He said, I didn't know what to say. So I just told him that I bought a jersey of his and it said GOAT on the back. And I was embarrassed.
Imagine you check your caller ID. Does it come up GOAT, do you think, or it comes up Brady?
It might come up GOAT on Josh Jackson's phone. Pretty cool. Really, really cool. He's, he watches the Lion King before every start of every season, the first game. It kind of just calms him down. He's got into this habit of doing that. His mom, Teresa, had him do it when he was just a pup.
There's Kennedy McCoy, his first carry. Motua Puaka makes the stop. The man in the middle, such an important player, the middle linebacker for Virginia Tech. He's the keeper of the pail, the lunch pail. They take that stuff very seriously in Blacksburg. He said it means everything to him. It's everything they are. David Sills on the reception, and there's a first down for West Virginia, gain of 9. And there is a picture of the lunch pail, which they carry out of the field and bring it everywhere they go. Mountaineers are moving fast. Here's Greer in some space, and he's got another first down. Got enough yardage before Terrell Edmonds brought him down. Gain of 12 on the play, and it's West Virginia on the move all of a sudden.
Yeah, they're sticking that ball in there, giving it to McCoy. That time he pulls it out, and Mahota, the defensive end, loses contain. This is what West Virginia and Jake Spavital want to get. That tempo, start affecting this defense for Virginia Tech.
Hokies are creeping up to the line of scrimmage, but they're just rushing 4. Greer has time to throw down the sideline and was looking for David Sills, a bit too high. Sills is 6'4", so you know it's really high. Adonis Alexander, who goes 6'3", was with him step for step.
It's a great matchup to watch all night. Sills on Alexander. Alexander has quietly become one of the better corners in the ACC. His teammates, when you talk with the quarterback, Josh Jackson, he say, who do you hate throwing the ball against in camp? Without question, it's 36.
3 receivers bottom of your screen now on 2nd down and 10. Throwing out to one of them. Here's Gary Jennings. Pickup of maybe 1 on the play. Divine Diablo. If there's a better name in college football, I'm not familiar with it. Divine Diablo makes the sure-handed tackle. The sophomore from Winston-Salem.
Yeah, you mentioned that. That's a hallmark of Bud Foster and these defenses, tackling. This team, when they get to you, they're going to put you on the ground. Not a lot of missed tackles for Virginia Tech.
Still trying to pick up that first 3rd down conversion. And there it is. It's Gary Jennings. The receiver goes up to get it. Diablo had the coverage, but he had enough to move the sticks.
Yeah, and that was protection all the way. Will Greer had plenty of time to sit back and survey the field. He's pretty good if you give him some time.
By far the most impressive drive so far for the Mountaineers. Approaching the final minute and a half of quarter number 1. Greer trying to make people miss, and Diablo got enough around the ankles to make his 3rd stop. And there's an injured player down for Virginia Tech.
That's Settle, the defensive tackle.
And Brian, when we talked to Bud Foster, the coordinator, he said, listen, my starting defensive line is as good as we've had in a long time here, but the depth isn't the same because we lost some guys to the NFL and to graduation. So it's something to monitor as the game progresses. They were worried about it anyway with the depth, and if Settle can't come back in or if he's limited, it could really be an issue for the interior of this Virginia Tech defensive line.
Yeah, that's a great point, Todd. They traditionally, when they're really good on defense, Bud Foster will tell you he'll rotate 8 defensive linemen pretty much the entire game, and he doesn't quite have that this year, so definitely something to keep an eye on with Settle.
He only played about 20 plays a game last year. They're hoping to get 45 out of him this year. He's that important, but that's not a good sign right there. Jimmy Taylor replaces Settle at the nose. 2nd and 11. Greer looks to his left. Again, plenty of time. And good coverage. The ball is knocked away by Terrell Edmonds, who is everywhere. The coverage on Karan White.
Jake Spavital is going to have to make some adjustments. That's the same play that they tried to complete the first play of the game on offense, trying to get it to Gary Jennings one-on-one against Terrell Edmonds, and Edmonds is all over Gary Jennings. I have to bunch it up, do some crossing routes, and get guys open off the rubs.
See the numbers on Greer. Here's 3rd and 11. Again, all sorts of time. Great protection. And with all that time, finds Gary Jennings for the first down.
Already you see the effect of no Tim Settle on the defensive line. That's Hewitt that gets in there. There's absolutely no pressure, and you give any quarterback that amount of time, and they're going to pick you apart.
Needed 11, got 12. This is a drive that started from their own 20-yard line. Here's the 10th play. Greer to throw again. Had a man wide open, and Jennings couldn't bring it down. Just a tad high, but you see Jennings' reaction. He knows that one is on him.
That's certainly this could be a better throw. It's just a cross route here. Sills is going to come down to the inside and affect the safety. And if that ball's a little bit lower, Will Greer knew he had him. You know, it's a new quarterback with new receivers, and they've been throwing all summer. But until you get out here with live bullets, you don't know how exactly that ball's going to come out.
2nd down and 10. Finally a run. It's McCoy with a change of pace down to the 25. The depth at wide receiver is interesting as well. There's no Marcus Sims. They were counting on him. He was suspended after a 2nd DUI charge, although that 2nd charge has been dropped. Javon Durante transferred away.
FAU.
Big part of the depth, so a lot of pressure on Karan White. Final 15 seconds of quarter number 1. White and Jennings expecting to pick up the slack. It's 3rd and 5 now. From the 25 of Virginia Tech. Greer the throw to David Sills, and he can't get to the marker. Terrell Edmonds makes the stop.
If I'm Will Greer, 3rd down, I might start throwing the ball away from number 22 in red.
ESPN's presentation of college football on ABC will return after this message and a word from our ABC stations. Back in Landover, West Virginia, they find themselves trailing 3-0, and it's decision time, and looks like the decision's been made.
I think it's the right decision in this part of the field.
Virginia Tech was 8 for 16 on 4th down attempts last season. On 4th and 2. Here's Greer, going to throw it, he's going to be intercepted. Picked off by Trayvon Hill. The worst possible scenario for West Virginia results in an interception by Trayvon Hill.
Well, Will Greer's got to throw the ball. It's 4th down, but this play was dead from alignment. You're going to see 4 guys from the outside for Virginia Tech. You get in this position, there they are right there, and he's just trying to get the ball here. And this is Hill right here with a great athletic play. Outstanding response, but that was from a schematic standpoint. Bud Foster was ready for that naked throw, and Hill makes a great play.
Hill's a big pass rusher. They're always so focused on getting the sack. Sometimes they don't able to get the hands on the ball and hang on to it, but showing the athleticism. And so off the turnover. See if Jackson tries a quick strike. Out of the flat for C.J. Carroll, and he'll pick up 3 on the play.
Still think that's the right decision for Dana Holgorsen, and West Virginia to go for it there. And despite the fact that Jake Spavital is calling the plays, Dana Holgorsen told us he's still in charge of when they go for it, when they don't.
Handoff to McMillan, has running room on the left side. And he is forced out of bounds by Toyus Avery. So he's just shy of the first down marker. Bring up a 3rd down and 1.
And Virginia Tech needs to get number 34 going. That's his first carry on the game. Last season had 145 carries. He is a bell cow for them. He can handle the load. He needs to get some rhythm though.
As a freshman, he rushed for 1,043 yards. Only 3 backs in history for West Virginia have done that twice in their career. Jackson under pressure, and he'll throw it to the turf.
Seeing a lot of misdirection from both offenses. I think that's a sign of respect for these two defenses. We kind of knew coming into this game that we knew Virginia Tech's defense was going to be good, and Tony Gibson, he's gotten better and better with his defense every year in the Big 12, and that's been the main driver as to why West Virginia has gotten better and better with their record in the Big 12. So it's going to be which defense forces the most turnovers, the most mistakes, probably win the game.
Virginia Tech now 0 for 5 on 3rd down conversions. Bradburn with a heck of a punt. And Gary Jennings takes it down at the 10-yard line. Todd McShay, what can you see from field level?
What's that, Levy?
What can you see from field level?
I can see the Red Sox and Yankees are tied at 0. My Sox, no offense tonight. This is the best thing in the world, man. The ESPN app. You guys finally downloaded it, right?
Wait, McShay, you're not watching our game?
Well, we're a timeout, right?
You know, once a Red Sox fan, always a Red Sox fan.
We're going to run around first, Levy.
All right, keep me posted on that. How's Chris Sale looking tonight? We're working on the app, too. We've got a lot of things going. I mean, you take your phone with you everywhere. I also take ESPN with you everywhere as well. First play on the new series. Here's Justin Crawford turning the corner. And they'll say his knee hit just shy of the first down. If Greer was a true freshman, even a redshirt freshman, you might be concerned about him after the interception. Well, here's a guy with a wife and a kid and is much more experienced both in life and on the field. He's been through some scenarios.
Yep.
Could make the argument that his brothers are much more famous than he is. Internet and social media sensations. But how often can a player give his offensive coordinator parenting advice? That doesn't happen too often, but that is the case with Will Greer and Jake Spavital and West Virginia. There's a flag down as he completes to David Sills and will check the marker.
Holding. Offense. Number 79. 10-yard penalty. First down.
I thought that was funny. We were talking to Jake Spavital, the offensive coordinator, yesterday, and he said he just had a baby girl, and he was looking around the room. Who should I ask about parenting advice, or which diapers, or how to get her to sleep through the night, or car seats? And he said, I'm just going to ask Will Greer.
That's his wife, Jean. Daughter, Eloise. I got the sense Will is spending more time with his offensive coordinator than his wife these days. He's said to be living in the football office. Here's Justin Crawford breaking a tackle lower in the shoulder. And the collision with Adonis Alexander.
And Crawford is another one of the guys that need to get going for West Virginia to have that balance on offense. You know, everybody thinks that Jake Spavital and Dana Holgorsen are going to be just throwing the ball all over the lot. It's almost a misnomer to call this an air raid offense anymore because they run more than they pass. But Justin Crawford needs to be a big part of this offense for West Virginia to win tonight.
Holgorsen said he's been kicked out of the air raid club. Considers himself now more of a CEO, if you will. 2nd and 15. See how much that penalty hurts. Greer down the middle of the field, had Gary Jennings and overthrew him.
we talked about it at the beginning of the game, that this has been Grier's Achilles heel his entire career. I studied him against Tennessee in 2015, and he was 0 for 5 with an interception on balls thrown beyond 25 yards down the field. Jake Spavital, his coordinator, said that's the one thing we've really been working on, the trajectory of his deep ball. You saw it there, too low. You got to get some air under it, let your receiver run under that ball.
There's no substitute for time with your receivers, Todd. You know that. And he just hasn't had a whole lot of time with these guys.
3rd and 15. Again, the pocket is clean. Grier able to hook up with David Sills, but he's well short of the marker. Another punting situation for West Virginia.
You know, you can look at a glass half full or glass half empty. Yeah, he's missing some of these throws downfield, but there are open receivers running down the field on this Virginia Tech defense. We saw the one that he missed to Jennings, and then again in the seam. If he gets those on target, those are big chunk plays.
Kinney will put it in the air. Strowman will signal for the fair catch out of the 36-yard line. And that's where the Hokies will take over. 11 and a half to play in the first half, leading by a field goal. Taco Bell is a proud partner of the College Football Playoff. Be on the lookout for Taco Bell student sections and passionate fans like these at games all season long. These passionate fans, they wanted in earlier than they were allowed to. In college, I like to tailgate, 6 days in advance of the game.
Camp out.
These NFL stadiums don't seem to be equipped for that, or don't want you here so early. There's a big line getting into the parking lot here tonight. Stephen Peoples is the ball carrier. Adam Schuler makes the stop. Schuler's part of a defensive line that combined for just one start coming into this game. Schuler himself is a redshirt sophomore, and that's Tony Gibson's problem. Problem he's working on right now. Sean Savoy on the end around. Forced out of bounds by Kaiser White.
We talked a little bit about Tony Gibson and the impact that he's had on this Mountaineer program now in his 4th season. And I think you see the win-loss column on the right for the last 4 years. He came in 2014, and they have done nothing but get better as a team. And it hasn't been because they played better offensively. It's because they played better on that defensive side.
Hokies still looking to convert on 3rd down. Not going to happen here either. It's Peoples knocked down by Xavier Preston.
You know, Brian, I like his scheme. You know, a lot of teams who run a 3-3-5 seems to be a little bit gimmicky, but this is as, I think, traditional a 3-3-5 as you'll see in terms of the discipline and being in the right position. He finds a way to get pressure, but doesn't put his players in a lot of real vulnerable situations.
Yeah, I agree, Todd. I think he's made up his mind that he can come after quarterbacks and confuse them with that scheme, and it's been successful.
Well, they're wearing out Bradburn, the punter, in his first collegiate game. Fair catch by Gary Jennings. It's time now for our Capital One pivotal performance, and it's Will Grier.
Started out, he's been a little bit inaccurate on throws down the field, as Todd has pointed out. He's missed a couple to Sills, missed a couple to Jennings. I don't put that on him. That's a 4th down. You got to throw that ball. But these are the ones he's got to make, because this Virginia Tech defense is too good to miss open receivers downfield. You got to take advantage.
Tim Settle is back in there. Had a bruised knee, left for a play or two, but that's good news for that defensive line of the Hokies. Justin Crawford is the ball carrier. Ball might have come out for just a second. Mentioned Settle with the knee injury. Have to mention DeAndre Francois, the Florida State quarterback. The knee injury is going to cost him the rest of the season. Yeah, horrendous news.
I feel terrible for him, for the kid. I mean, after everything he went through last year, you know, the beating that he took throughout the entire season, and he was taking another beating last night. For him to go down with a knee, just a real heartbreak.
Here's Crawford, breaks a hole right up the middle. And they'll bring him down from behind. Reggie Floyd showing great speed to bring down Justin Crawford after he ripped off 42. Longest play of the game.
We talk about getting Crawford involved here. You're going to see Wellman come up on the inside, get a great block on the linebacker to free up Crawford.
And West Virginia, they want to go fast. That time Crawford is stopped after a short game by Trayvon Hill. Everybody a chance to catch their breath.
Yeah, you get the sense that these two teams are kind of feeling each other out and don't know what to expect. It's the first game of the season for both of them. And you got new quarterbacks, you got new defenses, and you got to kind of get your feeling. And now West Virginia seems to have something going on offense.
Kennedy McCoy now in. They'll give Crawford a breather. And it is McCoy, the ball carrier. He's stopped there by Andrew Motua Puaka. Nailed that one again.
There you go. Nice. That'll get better. It'll roll off your tongue. He's going to make a lot of plays, so you better get used to it.
Big Andy in the middle. Hey, 5'4". Tevin Bush is checked in now. He's the explosive back.
True freshman.
For West Virginia, they want to get him in space. Who's to the right of Greer now in motion. Put him in a slot. Here's Greer. Across the middle. Looking for Bush. And the little guy able to stay on his feet. Bush goes 5'6", took the hit from Mook Reynolds and stayed up.
Yeah, he took a hit, didn't need to take a hit. That ball was late from Will Greer. They clearly wanted to get Tevin Bush in space and let him run that route. If Greer would have got it to him on time, that could have been a touchdown. But a little toughness from the little guy.
4th and 2, what are you going to do? From the 33-yard line.
Virginia Tech is all up around the line of scrimmage, clearly trying to come after Will Greer.
3 to snap it. They get it away. Here's Greer. Quick throw, complete to Karan White. On the inside slant for the first down yardage. The gamble pays off.
And that's too easy, right? If you're going to come with a blitz in Virginia Tech, Adonis Alexander has to be up pressed, Steve. He can't just allow Karan White free access on a slant to the inside. That's way too easy.
Little momentum here for West Virginia. The last time to try to convert on 4th down led to an interception. Here's Greer off the play fake and throw incomplete to Gary Jennings. Looked to his right and then threw down the middle of the field.
And this is the kind of balance that West Virginia wants on offense, right? They want that big run by Justin Crawford, and then they're starting to open up some seams down the field.
Gain of 12. This is their deepest penetration of the game so far. Down to the Hokie 13. Greer gonna keep it. And he's tripped up and dropped by Divine Diablo.
The area of the field where they like Sills. He's got the size, number 13 in the slot.
And a flag.
Ball start. Offense, number 62. 5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
That is Kyle Bosch playing the left guard tonight. Transfer from Michigan. 2nd and 13 after they pick up the handkerchief. McCoy in a single setback. Greer gives it to him. And McCoy picking and choosing down the 11-yard line. Trayvon Hill made the stop.
It's a great run by Kennedy McCoy. He's got a little bit of shiftiness to him. Probably the most diverse back that West Virginia has. Run the ball inside. He can play with slot receiver easily.
Greer to throw on 3rd and 8. Lofts one, and it is caught. David Sills. Touchdown. West Virginia. Mountaineers are on the board.
Talk about toughness in the pocket. Will Greer takes a shot there. That ball's thrown perfectly to the outside. We talked about Sills in the red zone, a favorite target for West Virginia. He's back after a hiatus. He wanted to be a quarterback. He was here at West Virginia for a couple of seasons, and Dana Holgorsen said, you're going to be a receiver if you're with us, not a quarterback. So he went to junior college and fulfilled his dream to play quarterback. And after last season, Dana Holgorsen called him back, says, come back and play wide out again. First touchdown of the year. Good move.
Mike Molina puts it through the extra point. I don't know about you, when David Sills was in 7th grade, he was awarded a scholarship. I was still trying to figure out how to tie my shoes. More on David Sills, the touchdown maker, when we come back.
The Capital One Sunday night kickoff on ABC is brought to you by Jiffy Lube, proudly pouring Pennzoil Synthetics. Brought to you courtesy of Honda and Pacific Life. Experience the power of Pacific.
Some 214 miles away from Morgantown, West Virginia, and some 285 miles away from Blacksburg, Virginia. Kind of a big backyard game. Close drive with fans to make it and bang out FedEx Field here in Landover, Maryland. Should say your faithful ESPN ABC crew drove the distance as well. 8 hours in the car. You learn something about your friends and your colleagues.
We drove the Appalachian Trail.
Yeah, we did. Outside of the minor issue trying to figure out the way to put gas into the car, we were all set.
That was
Free
McShay.
kick, out of bounds. The ball will be placed at the 35-yard line on the right hash. Timeout.
Evan Staley kicked that one off and kicked it out of bounds. 5.5 to go. 7-3, West Virginia. Yeah, this massive holiday weekend, jam-packed with college football for you, continues tomorrow night. Closing out our 5-star Labor Day weekend. Tennessee and Georgia Tech, the brand spanking new Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta. Coverage starts 8 p.m. Eastern on ESPN, streaming live on the ESPN app. And on 1st down and 10, the Hokies stumble forward to Sean McLeese. And they are looking to go fast here, now trailing 7-3. 5:20 to play in this first half. Jackson staring down his sideline. Now he'll clap and take the snap. Option. Gives it to McLeese, and he is wrecked for a loss. Kaiser White came up in a big way.
Kaiser White goes 6'2", 216 pounds. He plays that hybrid position. Sometimes he's on the end of line of scrimmage. Sometimes he's a safety. He'll rush the quarterback, and he was a missile. 58 tackles a year ago. He's a tone setter for Tony Gibson.
3rd and 2. Still looking to convert for the first time all night. 0 for 6. Do I hear 7? Jackson. And double coverage. It's knocked away. Was looking to hook up with Eric Kuma, and Mike Daniels broke it up, Todd.
You know, they had a rubber out there, and number 15, Sean Savoy, the freshman, was wide open, wound up with 2 defenders, and he threw into double coverage instead of hitting the open receiver. It's the first time I've seen him really miss a read today.
Yeah, you're right, Todd. That was a perfect read. This ball should have gone on the wheel route. Would have been a first down.
3 3-and-outs in a row. And that ball will bounce, and it will be down. Let's see. Did he get there in time? He did. It's down at the 6-inch line, I think.
That's Colton Taylor, the long snapper. Great hustle. He is 87. Nice job.
They'll spot it down at about the 2.
Down right there.
His momentum took him much closer to the goal line. Saturday night, get into next weekend. No better way to do that. With Oklahoma and Ohio State. Matchup between Heisman hopeful quarterbacks. Coverage will start at 7:30 Eastern right here on ABC. And of course, like everything else, you can stream it live on the ESPN app. As you might expect, the worst starting field position for West Virginia. Greer's thrown out of his end zone, and he's able to complete to Gary Jennings. Jennings, a rather cerebral player. He's one of just 3 players nationally that's on the NCAA Football Oversight Committee. 3 players in the whole country, and Jennings is one of them. As Justin Crawford leans forward for a yard. Jennings had 6 catches on the night. Settle came up to make the stop. And Crawford is hurt. Crawford and Grant Lingefelter, 2 Mountaineers injured on the same play.
Well, it looks like Crawford's got a cramp going there. But hopefully that's not serious with Lingefelter. But Tim Settle just blew up the entire inside of that offensive line. Brings up 3rd down.
Let's take a look at tonight's All-State, all-hands in play.
Looking at David Sills, and he's got the size, he's got the hands to be a productive wide receiver. And talking with Dana Holgerson, he says, you know, he was great thinker at the quarterback position. He had all the right traits of leadership. He just didn't have the right throwing motion.
that little skill at the quarterback position. He's got everything else. 3rd and 5 after a couple of injuries. Here's Greer on the run, trying to pick it up on the scramble. I don't think he got there, but there is a flag down, and a flag back at the 2-yard line. Greer tried to extend the football to the 1st down marker.
They're going to get a hold on Matt Jones, number 79, the center.
There's Matt Jones. Came in with 12 career snaps.
Holding, offense, number 79. Penalties declined. During the play, sideline warning on Virginia Tech. That's their 1st of the game. 4th down.
Heard a lot about the sideline warnings coming into this season.
And that last play, Steve, you saw Ricky Walker, number 8, the defensive tackle. Great penetration right off the snap. It's going to be a real problem in terms of the matchup. We knew coming into the game the interior offensive line was kind of the weakness of this offense for West Virginia. They're going to have to do a lot more doubling in the interior.
Billy Kinney take a step out of his own end zone. And Greg Stroman. Stroman the fair catch. And the Hokies will start this drive in Mountaineers territory. It's a punt of merely 33 yards.
Yeah, the field position has been flipped, and I go back to the punt by Bradburn, the true freshman, the hustle to get down there by the long snapper, Colton Taylor, and you come out and you get 3 and out on defense, and now you've set your offense up here in plus territory. All those little things, that's kind of that Beamer ball mentality.
And we'll see what Virginia Tech can do with it. Handoff to McMillan, and he is stopped for a loss.
And Brad Cornelison, the offensive coordinator, is going to have to start throwing the ball down the field because Tony Gibson is teeing off in the run game.
2nd and 11 upcoming.
See a lot of checking from Josh Jackson. That shows you how much Justin Fuentes and this coaching staff trust him to get this team in the right play.
Hands it off. Al-Rashid Benton came up to make the tackle.
But I'll tell you what's happening, Steve. Okay, they're checking at the line of scrimmage, Brad Cornelison and Jackson, and when he's checking, Tony Gibson is checking his defense. So he's one step ahead, even though they're trying to get the right play call. They went from a 2-deep defense there to a blitz that stoned that run play in the backfield. I mean, this is a chess game going on right now with Tony Gibson.
Gone 14 snaps now without a 1st down. Here's 3rd and 10. Going to waste this great field position. Josh Jackson up top. Says, I don't think so. Cam Phillips wins the battle, and the ball came out at the very end. You saw Mike Daniels waving no, incomplete. But I believe for now that's a catch.
I don't know how that wasn't a flag on top of it. Mike Daniels was all over Phillips. He's grabbed him by the helmet. Great catch from Cam Phillips. Virginia Tech needs to throw the ball up to him at least 8 or 10 times in this ballgame.
So finally a third down conversion. They get great field position. And now Jackson with plenty of time. Out of the flat to Sean Savoy. And they go across the field for a gain of 3, and Kaiser White makes the stop. Coming up on 90 seconds left in this first half, 7-3 in favor of the Mountaineers.
I come right back to Cam Phillips, Steve. He's your best player. Expect one-on-one, man-to-man. Give him a chance.
Handed off to Peoples. Peoples is rocked down by Dylan Tonkery. Tonkery's first stop of the night. Bring up a third down.
And it's pretty clear Tony Gibson is going to make Josh Jackson beat him. Not going to allow this run game for Virginia Tech to get on rhythm. Only 61 yards so far in this game, and Dana Holgerson's going to take a timeout here and set up some aggressive blitz potentially on defense.
7-3 with 51 seconds left as West Virginia uses their second timeout of the half. Give us an opportunity to look back at what was a tremendous Saturday in college football. I mean, there really aren't any bad ones. They all seem to have greatness. And I know you enjoyed Michigan's win over Florida.
Well, I thought, the narrative coming in was that, 10 starters gone on defense, and they came out and they handled Florida.
We mentioned the tough news about Florida State. DeAndre Francois, their quarterback, lost for the season. It comes during a loss to #1 Alabama last night.
And Alabama was Alabama on defense. They were Alabama on special teams. I was more interested in what Brian Dable was going to bring to that offense, in particular Jalen Hurts throwing the ball. They ran the ball well enough to win, but there's still room to grow there for them throwing the ball down the field with Jalen Hurts.
What does Florida State do now? I think their roster of quarterbacks that's left has thrown a combined 19 collegiate attempts.
Yeah, it's J.J. Constantino. He's got 16 of them and then 2 freshmen. So it's going to be a tough road for Randy Sanders and Jimbo Fisher.
3rd and 10. 51 seconds to play in the half. Jackson on the move to his right. Pressure right in his face, and somehow he's able to squeeze it through. Able to complete to C.J. Carroll. You want to talk about a tight window.
That's a great throw, big time catch from Carroll. Great recognition to get past the sticks by Carroll, and perfectly thrown ball.
Brings up a 1st and goal now, and they'll hand it off to Peoples for 2. Hokies have 2 timeouts left. See if they use one there, and they do with 31 seconds left in the half.
I know that Justin Fuentes wants to establish that run game in the middle. Peoples is his sledgehammer, but there just has been no room to run inside the tackles. I think with these next 2 plays that they have inside the 10-yard line, they got to potentially get Josh Jackson out on the perimeter and throw the ball.
And this could be a pivotal spot, a real chance for Virginia Tech to get some momentum heading into the second half. And we kind of expected a bit of a slugfest, old-time rivalry game, 2 outstanding defenses, and really inexperienced quarterbacks. You think about it, Greer having not played in a couple of years.
I think it's been a well-played game. Hadn't been a whole lot of penalties. We knew the defenses were going to be good. This game's going to come down to the 4th quarter, and it's going to come down to one of these quarterbacks making a play. And neither team has really had a whole lot of success running the ball, so it's going to be on the quarterback's shoulders in the end, as you would want it to.
Yes, just the way we would draw it up. I believe there's 1 turnover in the game so far, 1 penalty in the game to this point. So as you say, well-played football game. Maybe a second flag earlier. 2nd down and goal. 31 seconds left. 3 receivers bottom of your screen.
Empty formation.
That's McMillan in motion. They fake it to McMillan. Here's Josh Jackson right up the middle for the score. Touchdown. Hokies take the lead.
They hadn't had a whole lot of success running between the tackles with the halfbacks. but this time they're going to use Josh Jackson. Look at Drayvon Askew-Henry. He's the one that trails McMillan, and that's what opens up the lane for Josh Jackson. Well designed and a great adjustment from Justin Fuentes.
Extra point is good. It's a 5-yard run, the touchdown. They play off the short field, pick up 2 third-down conversions. And earlier this week, when we were in Blacksburg, we asked Jackson, what's the dream in the game? Is it a big passing touchdown? He said, no, a running touchdown. What are you going to do when you get in the end zone? He said, I have no idea. But we just found out. So good for him, good for the whole Jackson family. Very exciting moment for that young man.
I've been impressed with him. It hasn't all been perfect, and they have had some trouble moving the football, but you can see Justin Fuentes told us last year, Josh Jackson, as a true freshman, was legitimately in the competition with Gerard Evans. That it wasn't just lip service to that competition. And then we asked him this year, how close was that competition? He said, I didn't know coming in to camp who the quarterback was going to be, but pretty quickly, Josh Jackson separated himself.
He's been playing offensive football for a long time. He said in the 4th grade he was in an offense that went 5 wide. 5 wide in 4th grade. Come on.
I bet that's called flag football.
In my high school, they didn't pass the ball at all. And as you would expect, kickoff for the touchback.
And maybe the most impressive thing has been his composure. That's a big stage here, rivalry game. Half the stadium rooting for him, half the stadium rooting against him, and he's been on point. Excellent throw there to get that big 3rd down under pressure and finishes it. It's not only that, it's him operating at the line of scrimmage. He's been changing plays. He's been communicating with the sideline, communicating with the guys up front in the offensive line. It's been impressive.
27 seconds left here to play out the half. And we'll see how West Virginia handles this. It's Justin Crawford scampering out for a 1st down, trying the right side on for size. Crawford's up to 80 yards rushing in the game. Ripped off a big chunk for 60 earlier. On 2nd down, it's Crawford again, and that should do it for the half. Virginia Tech will get the football to start the 2nd half.
And what an opportunity for them. They go right down the field to end the 1st half and get a touchdown and then get the ball back again to start the 2nd half. That could be a 14-point swing, Steve.
Down to Todd McShay with the CEO.
Hey, Coach, defense so stout for so long, and then that one last drive. What was the difference?
Well, they're going to make a few plays now. They got some good players. We had them in a 3rd and long. Kid made a great catch on the sidelines. It's a good football game, 2 evenly matched teams. There's going to be some opportunities for both teams to make those plays, and we'll see what happens.
Will Greer got off to a little bit of a slow start, but really caught fire at the end. What does he have to do? What do you guys have to do offensively in the 2nd half?
Well, we got to protect him a little bit better. He was getting too much heat early. He hasn't played in a while, so he's had to knock a little bit of that rust off. We got to block him. They're a good defense, so we just got to hang in there, try to wear him out a little bit, and get some momentum in the 2nd half.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, Todd, thank you. 10-7 is our score at halftime in favor of Josh Jackson and Virginia Tech. Kevin, Mac, and Booger, they're here in Maryland. You'll hear from them on the other side.
And welcome to FedEx Field here as Kevin Agandi alongside Mac Brown and Booger McFarland. And right now, we were worried if we were going to see a touchdown the way this game was going with the quarterbacks. But Virginia Tech and Josh Jackson looked like settled down. And with that touchdown right there, what are you telling him at the half, getting ready for his second half in his college career?
He's a coach's kid. He put the team on his back, He takes momentum into halftime. All I tell him is you're no longer a freshman. Your season's now, and this game is a defensive game that's going to come down to which quarterback takes care of the ball and makes a play in the second half to win.
And then if you flip it over on the other side, if you're West Virginia, you got to run the football a little bit more. I thought once the running game got going with Crawford, Will Greer settled down. You can't put it all on Greer. Run Crawford. He's one of the better running backs in the Big 12. Get the running game going, I think, for West Virginia.
Yeah, got some cramps there. They got to hope they get him some fluid at halftime.
Running game's non-existent on both sides. Got to help the quarterback
Got to help the young quarterback.
But these are two great defenses and two great defensive coordinators.
Okay, and we're seeing the running game working somewhere else, and that is on the West Coast.
Exactly.
Unfortunately for UCLA, opening up against Texas A&M, this is the hot seat bowl for the coaches. And honestly, for Kevin Sumlin, you could not have a better start here with running the football, and it's led by Travion Williams.
Yeah, I think if you're Travion Williams, he's one of the better running backs in the SEC, almost 200 yards right now. And I love seeing the physicality from Texas A&M. To me, that's the best thing. Be physical. That's what Kevin Sumlin needs.
They've been the faster team on defense and offense.
Yes.
Their defense has made plays, have put pressure on Rosen. They got a lot of speed at A&M.
Guys, the big story of the day, no doubt about it, is DeAndre Francois coming in last night, a Heisman contender, out for the season. Left knee, according to the Tallahassee Democrat, first reporting it, it's a patella tendon. And now he's shut down in Florida State coming off that devastating loss. They have to continue the season without their star quarterback, and we will be introduced to James Blackman, the true freshman. He'll get the start, it looks like, against Louisiana Monroe. And when you look at a kid like that, Blackman, 6'5", 185 pounds, a true freshman. Mac, you've been here before where you lose your star quarterback and you're thinking national championship. What's your message to the true freshman and to the rest of the team?
Number one, you want to tell your team you feel bad for DeAndre Francois.
Yeah.
I hate it for him. What a great kid, great competitor, but that's part of football. Next man up. And then you get your young one in there and say, guys, you all have to step up and make plays to help him. And then you simplify, simplify, and simplify. We had it happen with Colt McCoy in the national championship. We get Garrett Gilbert. We start scratching things.
Exactly.
Okay, young fella, you got 5 runs, you got 5 passes. Let's make him comfortable. They've got a good opponent next week to get him some reps before they play Miami.
How much pressure is now on this defense the rest of the way?
Well, I think the defense is really good. They played really well last night. I think the pressure falls back on Jimbo. Jimbo's got to run the football a little bit more. I thought last night he got too run heavy. They got a good young running back in Cam Akers. Expect Jimbo to go to a run heavy offense, run Cam Akers, allow him to be ball control, and get the running game going a little bit more.
Now, and special teams has to step up and play better for Florida State.
Exactly.
What did Alabama show you last night?
Everything. Defense is still good. Jalen Hurts needs to improve a little bit more as a passer, but Alabama always wins. Opportunistic turnovers, defense, and a running game that will knock you in the mouth, and we saw that last night.
I thought their special teams were much better last night than I've ever seen them. They dominated the game. They're great on defense. They've got to improve on offense to win all the games.
The kicker got to lock in and get some gimmies there.
He does.
He needs to just make some kicks.
I didn't count him.
All right. All right, Alabama looking great. Some coaches in the Big 12 making their debut. Not so much. We'll break that down next. Kevin Agati, Mac Brown, and Booger McFarland with you live from FedEx Field. And the debut in the Big 12 for a couple of coaches, starting with Matt Rule at Baylor and taking on Liberty. Guys, this is a school that won't be a full-time FBS school until 2019, and they pulled off a shocker. Liberty beating Baylor 48-45 in Waco. Meanwhile, Tom Herman making his Texas debut. They were ranked. There was optimism coming in against Maryland, and they gave up 51 points. The big shocker in Austin as the Terps, led by DJ Durkin, they win by 10 points. Lincoln Riley, breathe a sigh of relief. He made his debut. One of the reasons why he has Baker Mayfield, and Mayfield looked fantastic. One incompletion as they ran up on UTEP 56-7, and they face Ohio State at the Horseshoe next Saturday night. Guys, biggest stunner, Baylor, and what happened with Matt Rule, Texas and what happened to Tom Herman?
Well, to me, it was Texas. I think if you're Baylor isn't concerned about winning and losing right now. They got a lot to clean up down there in Waco. My biggest surprise was Tom Herman. Last year, they fired Charlie Strong because very little offense, no defense, and a disaster on special teams. I looked out there yesterday. What did I see? A little offense, a disaster on special teams, and no defense whatsoever. So what's the difference between 2016 Texas and 2017? I didn't see it. And I think that falls on Tom Herman, Mac.
Well, and I agree about Matt Rule. He's had so much to clean up. He's had so many transfers. Big win for Turner Gill. As far as Tom's concerned, he got to start over.
Yes.
Now he knows his problems, and it's not good. So he's in that meeting room today with those coaches saying, you need to pick it up, and you need to pick it up, and why didn't yours play better, and why didn't yours play harder? How can we run the ball more? We got to protect our quarterback better. We got to tackle better. So he's got to find guys in that room that are committed and going to lead and want to play. And he's got San Jose State to do that this weekend.
Good start for Lincoln Riley. Now the big challenge, of course, Saturday night on ABC. You'll watch it at the Horseshoe. It is featuring Mayfield and J.T. Barrett. The Sooners on the road in Columbus. Oklahoma currently has the longest active win streak in FBS, guys, at 11 games. Sooners' last loss, Ohio State Norman last season, 45-24. Another matchup that we look forward to seeing is Auburn at Clemson. ESPN Saturday night at 7 p.m. Guys, what did you learn this weekend about the quarterbacks in this game coming in? Booger?
Yeah, when you're talking about Jared Stidham and Kelly Bryant, I think whichever quarterback settle down and can play their game, this game is going to be on the quarterback. I think both defenses will be good. It's got to be the quarterback.
Yeah, neither played a great team, so they're going to play great teams on Saturday.
All right, we look forward to that game on ESPN. You know, some stories you just stop and celebrate. A special weekend for college football. We'll have those stories for you next.
What would you do?
Kevin, Mac, and Booger with you. Chick-fil-A kickoff game. We got another one tomorrow. Tennessee, Georgia Tech. I love this weekend, guys.
They keep coming.
8 p.m. Eastern in Atlanta on ESPN. Hey, great inspirational stories we saw over the weekend. Let's start with Tim Alexander. 3 years ago, UAB disbanded their program citing financial concerns. Yesterday, a former recruit, Tim Alexander, paralyzed in a car accident in 2006, stood up from his wheelchair, walked to midfield to deliver the game ball. The Blazers beat Alabama A&M 38-7. How about cornerback Tyson Smith of Michigan State scored on a pick six in the Spartans' win over Bowling Green. He had a stroke this past November, right after the season ended. Told he had a 30% chance of ever playing again, and he scores. And Jake Olson, born with a form of eye cancer that cost him his left eye when he was 10 months old. At age 12, surgery to remove his right eye, completely blind, and he saw his first action yesterday. The long snapper, a perfect snap.
Wow.
What a story for USC.
Well, these guys are such inspirations to everybody to keep fighting, and that's what sports is about. That's what life's about, and I'm so glad we're sharing those stories because they all helped me this weekend.
No doubt, and so glad to see football back at UAB. It's something about seeing that just warms my heart also with the Olsen story.
We're all Blazers fans. It's great to see where they're at.
Love it.
Hey, right now we're fans of this game because we got a good one at FedEx Field. The Hokies up 10-7, second half coming your way.
Welcome back to FedEx Field here in Landover, Maryland. You're watching the Capital One Sunday night kickoff game. Steve Levy along with Brian Greasy and Todd McShay. The Hokies lead the Mountaineers by a score of 10-7. And the kid Josh Jackson figured it out a little bit towards the end of the half there.
First half of his college career, and he ran with his legs some, got this 4th and 1, which set up a big throw down the field. Then he just starts to use his legs to get outside the pocket right before half, completes this ball in a tight window under pressure and a big 3rd down, which allows for him on a subsequent play to come up and score this touchdown that puts Virginia Tech up 3 points at halftime, and they're going to get the football back here to start the second.
James Clark will range over for it and on the run, take it from the 6. Brought back towards the middle of the field, picking and choosing, and he's out past the 30-yard line. Take a look at our Pacific Life game summary. It's not all that artistic unless you love the defense.
I do love defense, and I get accused of not rooting for quarterbacks too often, but we knew this was going to be a defensive game. It's been well played. It's been evenly matched. And these two defensive coordinators, they're too experienced to allow these quarterbacks just to come out here and throw the ball all over the lot.
In fact, no one is more experienced than Bud Foster, the longest tenured defensive coordinator in the FBS. So Foster's defense will take a breather as we open up quarter number 3. 10-7 Virginia Tech with the ball. A little razzle-dazzle. Here's Cam Phillips. He's going to throw it down the field, and it is nearly intercepted. Phillips was looking for Sean Savoy, but Kaiser White was with him all the way, nearly intercepted it.
Yeah, this was well defensed. I like the thought to start the second half. That looks more like a punt than it does a pass.
You like the thought, not the pass?
I think that's the last pass that Cam Phillips is going to throw this season. He's really good at catching it, though, I'll tell you that.
2nd and 10. Off the razzle-dazzle, a little trickery. There's Trayvon McMillan. He'll take a hit and keep on ticking. Dravon Askew Henry made the stop. They'll bring up a 3rd down and short. Well, 3rd and 6.
We haven't talked a lot about Dravon Askew Henry outside of him giving up that touchdown right before the half on the run, but he is a key part of this West Virginia defense. Hurt, missed last year, and playing with a knee brace, and he seems to be back in midseason form.
Hokies have converted their last 2 3rd down conversions. On 3rd and 6, little pump and a big go. And the coverage there by Elijah Battle. Some of the crowd looking for a flag, but Phillips is the intended target on just about every single pass play.
Yeah, well, and there's no surprise where the ball's gone, and Battle's got his hand on the arm. That's a good no call. You know, Tony Gibson was telling us that's the position corner. Both corners are inexperienced. Mike Daniels, Hakeem Bailey, Elijah Battle, Corey Winfield, they're all battling for that corner spot. Nice coverage by Battle.
Oscar Brayburn's 6th punt of the night. And we're just a minute into the 3rd quarter. Down to the field, Todd McShay.
I think in the first half we saw, first of all, Will Greer, the quarterback, a little bit of rust coming off of a year not playing football, but one thing that we saw was just the inability to separate from these wide receivers. So Jake Spavital did a great job of adjusting. And here you're going to see on the touchdown throw to Sills that the simple rub route and bunching up receivers, so just causes more trouble for these cornerbacks that are playing an awful lot of man coverage.
Yeah, Todd, they were having a really tough time separating from Terrell Edmonds in particular.
Yeah, give the ball to Justin Crawford, averaging nearly 8 yards a carry, and that average will go up after that run.
Over 1,100 yards a year ago, and it's because of these sweet feet right there. Excellent moves, and he's got the speed on the 2nd level.
Crawford's already over 100 yards rushing here in the game tonight. And again, we are early 3rd quarter. Mix the run and then the pass. David Sills on the receiving end from Will Greer. Adonis Alexander brought him down. You know, I mentioned earlier that Sills was offered a scholarship in the 7th grade. That was not hyperbole. I mean, that actually happened. Lane Kiffin was out there.
That's right.
Loved him.
At SC.
And while we talk about Sills, Mook Reynolds is down on the field.
Yeah. Looks like a cramp for Mook.
And while they attend to Mook, the David Sills story is fabulous. Verbally committed at the age of 13. I couldn't choose an ice cream flavor at 13. Come on, man. And then decommitted. Wanted to go to West Virginia. Great, but he wanted to be a quarterback.
Yep.
And that's where Coach Dana Holgerson said, hey, follow your dreams. And he took his dreams to community college.
I thought it was great that Dana Holgerson said, listen, I'm not going to tell you to change your passion, to change your dreams. Go live it. And he did that for a year at El Camino College. And
did okay, apparently.
Yes, Dana said he did okay. He did kind of what he had seen on film with his throwing motion, but he just loved the kid, leadership in the locker room. And he's turned out to be a heck of a wide receiver on top of that.
And with 2 days left in the signing period, Holgerson called up Sills and said, hey, I've got a spot for you if you want to come. And Sills jumped back at the opportunity to be a wide receiver in Morgantown. Here's another wide receiver making a play. Karan White. And Greer drilled it across the middle, found the seam for a big gain.
Well, we heard Dana Holgorsen tell Todd right before halftime they have to protect Will Greer. That's exactly what happens here. Look at the pocket. He's bouncing back and forth. And if you can have time to throw that ball down the field one-on-one, make a play with Karan White.
3 plays, 3 first downs. 33 on that last pitch and catch, and that's Greer, the ball carrier.
You know, Karan White dropped one ball early in the game, but he definitely made up for it there, laying out horizontal. He's trying to get out of the shadow of his older brother, Kevin, now with the Chicago Bears.
Pretty big shadow.
They need him. They're not, as Todd talked about, they're not very deep at wide receiver. Karan White needs to be a go-to guy.
2nd down and 5. Ball just outside the 5. Greer. Quick throw to Tevin Bush. And that could have been disastrous. That was slow developing. You could see that was going to be a problem.
Yeah, that's they're trying to get the ball to their playmaker, Tevin Smith. And that was a very dangerous play there, especially to a true freshman. Could have been a lateral. Smart play by Bush to jump on that football and take all doubt out of the equation. Brings up a big 3rd down here, and this is where Bud Foster has got a decision to make. Is he going to come after Will Greer? He hasn't been able to get after him, Steve, with only 4 rushers. He needs to bring some pressure.
Loss of 6 on what they do call a lateral. 3rd and 11. Greer off his back foot, back of the end zone, and nobody's home. David Sills was in the neighborhood along with Reggie Floyd for Virginia Tech.
We talked about Bud Foster not being able to get pressure. He decided not to blitz, but to bring a twist game on the inside. Ricky Walker and Tim Settle, and Walker's the one that comes free right up the gut and forces the early throw from Greer.
Here's Mike Molina on for his first attempt of the night and of the season. From 29 yards away. Billy Kinney, the holder. And the whistle before the kick. That play clock run out? I see zeros.
Delay of game. Offense. 5-yard penalty. 4th down.
You know, in a lot of cases, that penalty, and I know Dana's upset about it, but it used to be a holder, and I actually preferred that ball to be further back. When you get way down in there near the 10-yard line, the angle from the college hash mark is difficult to that field goal. So this is actually a benefit, in my opinion, to Molina.
This will be from 34. Yeah, as a holder, you like it better. You think the kicker likes it?
Yes.
5 yards further away?
Look at that.
On the way, off the upright and through.
Never a doubt, right?
Just as they drew it up. You know, the box score tomorrow, that'll just look like a field goal. Kids, what's a box score? This was the play. 33 yards. It's Karan White from Will Greer. 3 first downs and the field goal off the up. Dana Holgorsen certainly has the program headed in the right direction. 4 wins in 2013, then 7 wins, then 8 wins, then 10 wins last season. If they get to 11, that would be something. They're talking about the 13th game for West Virginia. That's a big topic for all the Mountaineers. What would that 13th game be? Might it be a Big 12 championship game?
Yeah.
But they have to improve on special teams. After that delay of game on the field goal, might want to fire the special teams guy.
I don't know, it'd be hard to fire the special teams guy. He's pretty well paid. That's the biggest difference now, right, for Dana Holgorsen.
Yeah.
Now he's in charge of special teams, and I think it's a growth area for him. You know, he's one of the more colorful characters and energetic characters that we have in college football. And, you know, when he gives up play calling duties, he has to put that energy somewhere, and it's been to special teams during camp. And it was interesting talking to him yesterday. He actually is the official during practice.
Deshaun McCleese rips one off. Eventually brought down by Drayvon Askew Henry, but not until a gain of 14.
Trayvon McMillan has had his opportunities. We've seen a little bit of Peoples, and now this is McLeese. A little bit more speed to the backfield for Virginia Tech.
McLeese played just one game last season after a shoulder injury. He's looking to show a lot more. Here's Josh Jackson down the field, complete. Chris Cunningham for the big gain, and he's pushed out at the 16-yard line, wide open, and Johnson found him.
And he's lined up in the end of the line tight end, and they just lose sight of him. The linebacker comes up, safety comes up, and a nice recognition from Josh Jackson. An accurate throw gets a big gain.
You can see Jackson's confidence just swelling as this game progresses. That was good for 39, and there's a marker. See who jumped on that Hokie line.
False start. Offense, number 57. 5-yard penalty, first down.
That's Wyatt Teller. Todd, what do you got?
Well, this has happened a few times today. I'm not sure why it's a trend, but it seems like when they get the big play, they're rushing up, understandably, to try to catch the defense running down the field. And 3 different times we've seen them jump off sides when they're trying to go with the fast up-tempo type of offense.
Those can be drive killers, especially after big gains. So they push him back 5. Here's Jackson on the run and throwing and completing to Savoy. He stopped shy of the 10. Mike Daniels banged him out of bounds.
We talked about Josh Jackson getting comfortable. There's different kinds of pressures, right? There's a pressure of starting your first game, and there's the other pressure, which is as the game goes on and it's a tight game and every play matters, there's the pressure of performing in the clutch. We're going to find out about Josh in that area.
2nd and 4. Gives it to McLeese. Breaks 1 tackle. Breaks a 2nd tackle. And he's into the end zone for a touchdown. Deshaun McLeese refused to be stopped.
He goes 5'9", 190 pounds. This is his 3rd year with the Hokies, and you see the footwork in the back and then the power. He just runs over defenders. I know they've got some players at the tailback position, Trayvon McMillan and Peoples, but Deshaun McLeese is coming on.
Joey Sly boots it home. And Virginia Tech answers that West Virginia field goal with just 4 plays. Deshaun McLeese, he called out a nose for the end zone. He would not be stopped till he got points.
The Capital One Sunday night kickoff on ABC is brought to you by Goodyear, hardworking tires that deliver blimp-worthy performance, and Pacific Life. Experience the power of Pacific.
Defensive coordinator Bud Foster started the lunch pail defense in 1995. Contains assigned mission statement, weekly goals for the defense, and also the names of the 32 Virginia Tech people who died in that 2007 mass shooting. Very important, very, very serious stuff in Blacksburg.
Yep. They put their mission statement in there too as a defense, pretty cool. And then when they get a victory on the road, they put a little bit of turf in there. They're trying to take a little bit of this Redskins Park turf with them home. Very few coaches in college football with the longevity of Bud Foster. You see over the last 21 years, that is as good as it gets. And you know when you're going up against a Bud Foster defense, it's going to be a 60-minute fight.
And now they've got a lead to protect. 17-10. Here's Greer in some trouble, thrown against his body. And he sailed it out of bounds. Looking for Tevin Bush out of the backfield.
The officials missed a clear hold here on Kajus, the left tackle. Trevin Hill beats him off the line of scrimmage, and he gets a big piece of that jersey. Lucky to get away with that one.
West Virginia's paying rent at the 25-yard line, their own 25. The 6th time they've started from there. Swing it out to Kennedy McCoy. And McCoy has a few. Adonis Alexander came up to make the stop. Virginia Tech has not fared very well here at FedEx Field in recent memory. 2004, they lost to then #1 USC. 2010, they lost the opener in the last minute to Boise State. And then 2012, they lost in the final seconds to Cincinnati. Trying to protect a 7-point lead here. 9 minutes to play, third quarter. And Greer going for it down the sideline. Karan White, the intended target. I was looking for a flag also. None coming. Terrell Edmonds was there.
Yeah, it's a great job by Terrell Edmonds. He knows when he's got to go, he's got to get there and then turn his head. That little bit he turns his head, Steve, gives him the benefit of the doubt with the official. If he doesn't turn his head and runs into him, it's going to be a flag every time. That's an experienced player, and you expect that from Terrell Edmonds.
4th down and 8. Billy Kinney. That's a good look at what he's looking at. I guess they're going to set up the return. Absolutely no pressure at all. Stroman will let it bounce, and it will do so out of bounds. As Kinney limping off the field. Hokies will start again with excellent field position after the punt of just 33 yards.
Let's take a look at it again. It looked like Winnie kind of whiffed on that. Definitely came off the field. Well, it may have been his left leg. Yeah, he's grabbing that plant leg. Keep an eye on that.
Kinney's the redshirt junior, hometown kid from Morgantown, West Virginia. 1st down and 10. Hokies start with excellent field position at their own 40-yard line. Jackson has Deshaun McLeese to his left. Option. Gives it to McLeese. And he'll lower his helmet and get a yard. Ran into Al Rashid Benton there.
Steve, this offense for Virginia Tech last year under Brad Cornelson and Justin Fuente, they scored 35 points a game. Gerard Evans was a big part of that. Running the ball and throwing the ball. And when he was gone, they lost a big chunk. 72% in fact of their offense between Isaiah Ford, Bucky Hodges, and Evans. And they're just finding their identity here with 17 at quarterback in the last 3 drives. They've got a lot of momentum.
Here's Jackson. Quick throw. And threw it in between a couple of players. I think a lot of people were surprised that Gerard Evans took off.
Yep.
And the move has not worked out for Evans either.
You know, the one person who wasn't surprised was Justin Fuentes. And knowing the kid, you know, we asked him that question this week, and he just said, no, he wasn't that surprised. And every kid's going to make their own decisions, right? And clearly, Gerard Evans probably would have benefited from coming back. He didn't go drafted. I don't think he's made a team. Nope. So I'm sure he's would love to be here playing against the Mountaineers in FedEx Field.
Put up some 4,400 yards of offense last season, was the team's leading rusher from the quarterback position. 1st down, Can Phillips has enough. Just across midfield. Needed 9, got the 10.
It's a great play call there by Brad Cornelson. Expecting pressure, get the ball in a slip screen to your best receiver. I think this offense is going to look different, obviously, under Josh Jackson than it did Gerard Evans. A lot more checking at the line of scrimmage and allowing Jackson to use some of his talents upstairs.
It's McLeese on the inside handoff. And he is stood up by Drayvon Askew-Henry. Todd.
I thought it was interesting, too, when we talked to Fuentes, how we talked about when he was a TCU coordinator with Andy Dalton, how he envisions this offense to move more in the direction of Andy Dalton than maybe Paxton Lynch, who was a 1st-round pick when they were working together at Memphis, or even last year with Gerard Evans. So clearly he thinks a lot of Jackson and his mental aptitude.
Yes, the high football IQ that we love to talk about. There's Jackson on the ground. He'll keep it. There's a smart play inside the 30.
Just enough, right? Just enough athletic ability to run the option. We've seen that 2 or 3 times. We've seen him run in between the tackles on quarterback power for a touchdown on a 4th down. He's got just enough of that ability to keep the defense honest.
This time gives it to Peoples. He stood up and still makes something out of nothing. That's an impressive run by Stephen Peoples. 5'9", 220, low center of gravity.
I thought it was interesting that Fuentes said, you know, when he left TCU and went to Memphis, he tried to take that offense at TCU under Andy Dalton and just put it in at Memphis, and he said it was a mistake. Those guys couldn't do that. I had to tailor it to the talent that I had there, and guys like Paxton Lynch. And I think he's really excited to have a quarterback back in Josh Jackson that potentially can think kind of like an Andy Dalton and orchestrate the offense in that fashion.
Kaiser White is being attended to. And while he's attended to, I'll tell you that the NFL gets back in the swing of things. And on ESPN, it's Monday Night Football. As always, we kick off with a doubleheader. The Saints will be in Minnesota. How about Adrian Peterson to open up against his old mates? And then the nightcap. What do you say we go for a nightcap? No one's ever turned that down. The Chargers and the Broncos. Coverage begins with Monday Night Countdown, 5 p.m. Eastern. As always, as everything is, streaming live on the ESPN app.
Yeah, we'll see Trey Edmonds. It seems like he made the Saints.
That's right.
Today. The brother of Terrell and Tremaine. Hopefully he stays on through the first week of the season and contributes to the Saints.
Had 3 Edmonds on the field at one time. Simply amazing. A rare, rare feat. Second man through, gets the football. It's Peoples. He's short of the first down. Bring about a 3rd and 1 now.
This offensive line from Virginia Tech starting to take hold of this game, and you start to wonder about the depth and the conditioning up front for West Virginia on the defensive line. They only play with 3 defensive linemen. We know that. They don't have a whole lot of depth.
128 yards on the ground so far for the Hokies. Need another yard here. Keep the drive going. And they're not going to get it. Big loss. People's world is rocked by Xavier Preston, who automatically was going to have a better opener than he did a year ago. Didn't even get to the game last year. He was suspended for the opening game. He said, I wasn't the guy I should have been. It's all about the team now, and he showed that there.
Yeah, it's just too many numbers there. Too many numbers. Tonkery comes from his linebacker spot, and that's a good design by Tony Gibson. Short yardage.
Here's Sly on for a 38-yard field goal attempt. Already good from 25. This one is no good. Missed it to the right. Sly, who was so effective from that distance a year ago, can't get that one to go through. And the Hokies' lead remains 7. Back at FedEx Field, they've banged out the building for this so-called neutral site game. I mean, officially it's neutral, but there's not one neutral fan in the place better than 80,000 strong. Watching the kind of game you would expect from these two rivals. 17-10, Virginia Tech.
55, 5-yard penalty, first down.
Yadni Kajust, the fine left tackle, got busted there.
This West Virginia offensive line has been stout at the outside positions of tackle. The question coming into this season was the interior, and they lost Lingenfelder.
1st and 15, Greer throwing, has a man, only one man to beat. Karan White couldn't stay on his feet, and he knows it too. Nice pitch and catch there. Make up for all the penalty yardage as well.
Yep, Karan White starting to come on. He was slow in the first half, but he's made 2 or 3 big catches down the field here in the second half.
Gain of 31 there, man, if he could have stayed on his feet. On 1st down and 10 now. Greer throwing to the left. Gary Jennings creating some running room. And he has a 1st down.
You get that all-important 1st down, right? And then you see Jake Spavital. He wants to go. He's going to call these things as fast as he possibly can once he gets that 1st down. And now that he's across midfield, expect him to ramp it up.
Looked like Greer was shaking him off a little bit, like a pitcher shakes a catcher off. I'm interested to see what this play is. 1st down and 10. Greer throwing right side, bounces up in the air. was looking for a White, and Brandon Faison was there on the coverage.
They haven't had success, Steve, throwing the ball down the field, and part of it's been Greer and part of it's been great coverage. But I just got a stat here from the great Marty Aronoff. 1 for 8 Will Greer is on passes that travel over 20 yards. It has not been a recipe for success for West Virginia.
Great to have Marty and Ben Boma back with us in the booth for our travels across the college football landscape all season long. Kennedy McCoy, the ball carrier. Adonis Alexander comes up to make another stop. You talk about the great coverage. That's what Virginia Tech is known for. DBU, you hear that all the time. They continue to churn out great defensive backs.
Huge third down here. Bud Foster has chosen not to come with pressure predominantly in this game.
Here's Greer. Back front throw. Has a chance, and it's Gary Jennings. Inbounds for the catch, and a big play there for West Virginia.
Wow, and this is not normally a way that you want to throw this ball off his back foot. Terrell Edmonds was not in position, and a great job by Jennings with the tippy tap on the sideline.
Only need 1 foot in. It's good for 24. Just across the 20. On the draw. McCoy on the short game. Todd?
Gracie, maybe he should change his mechanics. Because that was the best deep ball he threw all day.
Whatever works.
These two teams are starting now to get their rhythm offensively. They're jabbing at each other. Different styles, but both are effective here in the second half.
2nd and 6. Just beyond the 16. Greer off the play fake. Again, the pocket is clean. Now under some pressure, trying to step up and step away. And he takes a big hit as he lands just in time for the first down. Andrew Motuoapaka makes the stop.
Nothing downfield. Good job. If he threw that slant on the weak side, Tremaine Edmonds was going to intercept it. Nice job pulling it down, and he's got just enough moves to bring up a 4th and short here.
Actually, they gave it to him.
Oh, they got a first down.
1st and goal.
Got to change the sign on the sideline. There we go. Move the sticks. Got a little indecision on the sideline. With
just drop him, right?
Yeah, it's
1st and goal. Now they've dropped him. Laid him flat. Fake handoff from Greer. Able to complete to David Sills. Touchdown, Mountaineers. 2nd time they've hooked up for 6.
Steve, the touchdown to Sills earlier in the game. He lined up inside and came up, and the receiver got a rub and caught the ball to the outside. This time he lines up outside and comes inside, and it's a great read from Will Greer. This has been their offense in the red zone. It's put Sills over there with Jennings, cross them, and then Greer has to pick which one's open.
And the extra point is through. And just like that, with 2:18 to go in the 3rd quarter, Will Greer's wife has something more to cheer about. Big touchdown. Comes after the missed field goal at the other end. 8 plays later, we're tied. Back in Landover, Maryland. Will Greer in West Virginia getting it done. Greer going 4 for 5 for 69 yards and a touchdown on that last drive, all on the heels of the missed field goal the other way. And that's why we're tied at 17 in the late stages of the 3rd quarter. Down the sideline, James Clark off the huge kick return. And Evan Stanley, the kicker, had to push him out. There is a flag down on the play, which we'll check.
I think he's going to get a late hit on the kicker out of bounds on Clark. What a huge play, huge return in a timely fashion for Clark.
And Dana has not thrown his headset yet tonight, we don't believe. That one's attached to him.
After the play, personal foul. During the return, number 5, 15-yard penalty will be added on to the end of the run. 1st down.
Wow, what a big play that is.
Clark is the transfer from Ohio State, and he comes in, and that's tough. I mean, it's tough because it's not on the kicker. That was on Kenny Robinson, a backup safety. Yeah, and he's got to be careful. Dana's got to be careful. He talked about being more composed on the sideline. He felt like he could do that by giving up some of the play calling duties, that he could keep the game managed a little bit better and manage his emotions, but he's hot about that one.
And officials, we were told, were really going to get involved and really enforce sideline conduct. Here's Jackson for a wide open Cam Phillips. Got him. Touchdown. Back-to-back big plays. And just like that, Virginia Tech is back on top. 32 for the score. Point is good. Cam Phillips over 100 yards receiving.
You know, Tony Gibson, Steve, he said that the one area he was concerned about were his corners on the outside. They didn't have a ton of experience, and they just busted here. It was a fake slip screen, and Cam Phillips released down the field. You see, there comes the freshman 15, and both corners come up, and that's when you blitz a lot, and Tony Gibson blitzes a lot. He said, I don't ask my corners to think a lot, but I do put them on an island quite a bit, and one mistake, and Josh Jackson made him pay. And what a turn of emotion and momentum here for Virginia Tech.
No question. 16 seconds after the 44-yard kickoff. They tack on the 15-yard penalty. It's a 32-yard touchdown pass.
Boy, and now, you know, that sideline for West Virginia, they're watching their head coach, you know, go off the handle a little bit. You know, he's got to get his composure back. The team emulates the head coach from a composure standpoint, I believe.
And I would agree. That behavior not becoming of a CEO.
You don't want to lose your passion, right? And that's
a fine line there.
Yeah, that's Dana Holgorsen through and through. And you don't want to change who you are, but you want to be aware. And he went up to the line there, right? He went up to the line, and he came back. He didn't go over the line, and so I think he'll get himself back composed and put the ball back in Will Greer's hands, who's hot.
All of a sudden, we've got a wild affair. A high-scoring second half. Greer off the low snap. He's taking a shot down the field for Gary Jennings, and he has that too. Why wouldn't he? Big gains everywhere you look.
This is a great trajectory on the ball. We talked with Todd earlier in the game about trajectory on the deep throw, giving it some air. You see how that ball comes down over the shoulder. That's exactly what you want.
43 on that play. Now the handoff, the changeup to Justin Crawford. And not much doing there. Under 2 minutes left here in the third quarter, Todd.
And, you know, I think one of the big differences is protection. We've seen this defensive front for Virginia Tech, we talked about earlier, does not have the depth that they usually have in years past. And I think this group's starting to tire out a little bit. More running holes and more time for Will Greer in the pocket.
2nd and 6. Quick throw to Jennings. He's short of the first down. Bring up a 3rd down and 1. Tremaine Edmonds made the stop.
That's the whole philosophy, Todd, right, of these up-tempo offenses and air raid. You can't substitute, and you got to run sideline to sideline. You got to rush the passer, and your 330-pound defensive tackle can't handle it.
3rd down and 1. It's Crawford. Had time to pick his spot. There's a flag that comes late. He had the first down yardage. See if they got a hold.
Number 55. 10-yard penalty, 3rd down.
That's Kajust, the stud on that offensive line.
I think they might have just thrown another flag on Dana Holgorsen.
Holgorsen was out beyond where he should be, was screaming at the referee again, and he finally just threw a flag on.
I think they gave him ample opportunity the first time, gave him plenty of chances. And now they flag him the second time.
Of West Virginia. That is his first of the game. It's a 15-yard penalty. Remains third down.
And a second such infraction would see the head coach tossed out of the game.
Yeah, well, he got him on alert because he was yelling at him after the late hit out of bounds, and he didn't have any more wiggle room. And as soon as he stepped foot on the field, they got him. And this is the composure we talked about, right? Your team is going to follow you, and this has been an area of growth potential for him, and he's aware of it. And but sometimes you get in these games, especially a renewed rivalry game like this, and it's hard.
They were in a 3rd and 1. It's 3rd and 26 instead. Costly. Here's Greer. Great protection. Lofts it downfield. End zone, and it's knocked away. White, the intended target. Faison was there, and he had plenty of friends with him from those Hokie defensive backs. But a critical penalty against the head coach there.
Yeah, and you mark this down, mark this series down, right? The kick return, and then the quick score, and then an opportunity. Your offense is moving. And I'm interested if he was actually right. Let's go back and look at Kajust. Here he is right here. Was this a hold? He bounces it out, and I mean, that could have gone either way.
Billy Kinney was the punter we told you about before. Looked like he was shaken up, might have hurt his knee. And Kinney is hurt again. Kinney looks like he's banged up. The punter can barely get off the field. So, an amazing turn of events here, which has Virginia Tech up by 7, and they're going to have the football. In a minute 22, West Virginia lost 40 yards based on penalties, right? From 3rd and 1, pushed back to 3rd and 26 in that particular sequence. And you're right, this go back, we could be talking about a turning point of the game.
Well, certainly, and I know that, you know, we've talked a lot about Dana Holgorsen, and we talked a lot about his new role as kind of this CEO and getting rid of some of these assignments as an offensive play caller. But those areas for growth are still there for him around the emotion on the sideline.
Hey, man, you are who you are.
Yeah,
and he's gotten to this point being that guy, being successful. We'll see how this works out.
Well, the kids love him. They absolutely love him. They love playing for him. He's done a great job recruiting. He has this team getting better and better every year. He hired Tony Gibson. They're getting better defensively. There's a lot of great things happening at West Virginia. Jake Spavital. There's one final step, in my opinion, and it's Dana Holgorsen who can do it. He can do it.
Reese, you said this would come down to the 4th quarter. We're in a touchdown kind of game. 24-17. ESPN's presentation of college football on ABC. We'll return after this message and a word from our ABC stations. Play. Now it's time for your We've Got You Covered. Brought to you by Jiffy Lube.
Exciting 3rd quarter, huh, partner? Mm-hmm. Both these offenses heated up a little bit. Josh Jackson came out, got some touchdowns. Had a great game so far. I think he's been composed and came out in the second half and continued with Cam Phillips has been the primary target. Going to need him in the 4th quarter for sure.
17 points in the first half combined. 24 combined points in the 3rd quarter. And now West Virginia says they have the football. McLeese was the ball carrier. If he still has it, he has a first down. If he doesn't, it's West Virginia's football.
He's fighting for extra yardage here. Clearly he gets the first down, and that ball, that looked like it had come out before he was down, Steve. They're going to have to take another look at this one.
There's Bill Lamonier. Bill?
I'm surprised they haven't buzzed him yet, but the officials ruled him down. Now the tough thing, there's the replay. The tough thing on this for replay, they can prove it's a fumble.
The ruling on the field was a first down.
They have to see indisputable video evidence of the player recovering.
Yeah, clear recovery, right?
You have to have a clear recovery. So that'll be the challenge for replay.
Let's start with the fumble here, Bill. He's pushing.
Ball's loose. It's out before he's down.
Now, is that clear recovery? They're fighting for the football. What happens if they're fighting for the football?
If both players latch onto the football, by rule, it belongs to the offense. They were the fumbling team.
And that was the ruling on, well, the ruling on the field was not a fumble, that he was down. But you're saying in this case, as a simultaneous recovery there, that this should be a first down ball for Virginia Tech.
Yes, it would. The official who made the call, he's looking through the back. He didn't see the ball come out.
Well, Virginia Tech dodged a bullet there.
Yeah, it's a jump ball for who recovered it. They both got their hands on it.
Well, McLeese, the ball carrier. And then it's up for grabs. This one could take some time.
Or not.
Let's watch for Dana Holgerson's reaction.
After review, the ruling on the field stands. First down.
Go ahead, Bill, talk to me.
One of the tough things there, and the reason it comes out stands, is there's no question they can rule on the fumble. But because of basically the jump ball, the simultaneous possession, the play, the way it was called, just stands.
I think that the confusing part of that was the ruling on the field was that he was down and not a fumble, and it was clearly a fumble. But he recovered anyway, so I think we're net-net.
Tie goes to the runner in baseball, too. Sean Savoy. Hakeem Bailey forced him out. Second and 13. It's water under the bridge now. Minute in, quarter number 4. Hokies by 7. Jackson on the run, feels the pressure and just throws it away. Tom Brady would approve of that. Al-Rashid got the pressure.
That's a smart play, too. When we talked to Coach Fuente, he said, you know, one of the big things, especially in this first game for Jackson and his first career start, is that there are going to be bad plays. West Virginia's going to make some good plays. But when it's a bad play, let's not make it a terrible play. I think that play right there is a very good example of that. Jackson's smart enough to just get that ball out, wave the white flag.
Especially when you're up 7 points, backed up inside your own 25, right, Tom?
Exactly.
Third and 13. Live to fight another down. 4 to snap it. They do. Immediate pressure. Set up the screen nicely to McMillan, and he is tripped up. Outstanding play by Xavier Preston, who's had a fine ball game for West Virginia.
That was a big play by Xavier Preston. If he doesn't make that tackle on the screen, then McMillan might still be running. They had it set up nicely, but Preston, sure-handed, forces the punt.
Bradburn back for his 7th punt of the night. And it'll roll all the way down to the 26-yard line. Thousands affected by Hurricane Harvey urgently need your support. We ask you to help the American Red Cross provide meals and shelter to these families. Donate today by going to redcross.org/ESPN or call 1-855-999-GIVE. 1-855-999-GIVE. And I can just tell you, for all the ESPN, ABC employees that donated to the relief efforts, the Walt Disney Company matched all of our donations.
Yeah, very cool. Good on you, Levy, for donating. I know you donated too.
Nice to work for a company like that that cares. Do what you can. That's all we're asking. You know, the last time these two played, there's been a big halt in the rivalry, 12 years. Hurricane Katrina had just devastated the Gulf Coast back in August of 2005. And now these two squads get back in business shortly after Hurricane Harvey did what it did to Houston and the surrounding areas. Here's Greer across the middle. What concentration by Gary Jennings. Stays on his feet for the touchdown. And back and forth we go in Landover. How do you do? 60 yards for 6.
We talked about Will Greer needing to get on the same page and timing with his receivers. Take a look at this throw. It's just man-to-man coverage. Terrell Edmonds is there, and this is just trust. Trust in Gary Jennings that he's going to go up and make a play, or nobody's going to make it, and the result is a touchdown.
Alexander had a shot to bring him down and couldn't make the tackle. Mike Molina puts it through. Jennings up to 179 yards receiving. He's been targeted 17 times and made 11 catches.
We talked about reawakening the rivalry, right? I mean, tie game, fourth quarter. These guys haven't played in 12 years. The fans miss this rivalry. Great start.
Back at FedEx Field, the Capital One Sunday night kickoff game. Exactly, 24-24, and lost among all those West Virginia fans. There's one poor Hokie fan. He doesn't look too happy.
You gonna see this reassigned or something?
Looks like he got put in the wrong section. Whoops. Who's firing his ticket broker? Game is sold out here. Classic neutral site game to start the season. Take a look at our Pacific Life game summary now. And all of a sudden, there's a whole lot to chew on.
Yeah, we had a defensive summary in the first half of this game as both defenses dominated. But the second half, 437 yards combined and 31 points. And this game all of a sudden has become very interesting. Which defense can adjust now, right? Is it Bud Foster or Gibson for West Virginia? Who can get that stop when they need it the most?
And these first games are, look, every game in college football is so important. But to get off to a good start, you've been planning since January about this one game, this particular opponent, this particular stadium. It means so much, and it'll come down to the fourth quarter. Adam Schuler is pushing Stephen Peoples around for the loss.
The recipes have been different for these offenses. For West Virginia, it's basically been Will Greer throwing the ball over 300 yards now and 3 touchdowns. But for Virginia Tech, it's been a balance. It's been running the football and loosening up that defense and then play action for Josh Jackson. They got to get back to that.
Jackson hands it to the first man through. And Hakeem Bailey came up to make the stick. Looks like Peoples might have hurt his knee. He'll limp off the field.
Going to get a corner fire from Hakeem Bailey. Nice adjustment from Tony Gibson. We talked about it. That's a run stopper. None accounted for. Bailey in the backfield brings up a big 3rd and long.
Peoples looks to be in some pain there.
You know, they've gotten a little bit conservative in the last couple drives, taking some shots on earlier downs, and now they're putting their young quarterback in these situations you don't want to pass rush 3rd and long.
3rd and 9. Feels the pressure. Can't get out of there. Dropped by Quandarius Qualls on the sack. And they'll have to punt it away.
And this was part Quandarius Qualls, 33 off the edge, and part coverage. Nowhere for Josh Jackson to go with this football. He tries to pull it down, and we talked about the nerves and the pressure, right? It's different at the beginning of the game than it is in crunch time, and Josh Jackson took a conservative approach there.
Jackson sacked for the first time. Here's Tevin Bush at the 25-yard line on the punt return. And that's where West Virginia will take over, looking to take the lead.
Capital One Sunday Night Kickoff on ABC is brought to you by the Quicksilver Card from Capital One. Earn unlimited 1.5% cash back every purchase, everywhere. What's in your wallet? And in part by Buick, proud partner of the NCAA.
We're locked up at 24. Mountaineers and Hokies. 11 minutes left in the fourth quarter. This place is going nuts, guys. It's as loud as it's been all night. Virginia Tech has more people here, but West Virginia just as loud.
Todd McShay in the middle of it all. Greer on the delayed handoff to Martell Pettaway, his first carry of the night.
Well, we know Will Greer started off a little slow throwing the ball down the field, but the second half, you see the numbers. Much more production, and it's been because he's got on the same page with Karan White and Gary Jennings in particular for big plays down the field.
Second down and 8. Handoff again. It's Pettaway. He has the first down, and he crashes down to the 45-yard line. Gain of 17 on that run.
We got Terrell Edmonds down on the field. I mean, this is the time of year when it's hot out and it's sticky out that you get these cramps, and it looks like what Terrell Edmonds is going through. You see his toes are pointed out. That's exactly what that is. He's a big part of their pass coverage. They would be difficult if they lose him in the secondary.
Hate to see all these big injuries in college football. We'll watch for that. Saturday Night Football, number 7 Oklahoma, number 2 Ohio State. The game day crew will be there as well. It's got everything you could want, including a matchup between Heisman hopeful quarterbacks. Coverage starts 7:30 Eastern right here on ABC, and of course streaming live on the ESPN app. Take it with you everywhere you go. It's like Baker Mayfield's trying to quiet the crowd there. Quiet the noise.
A little bit of revenge maybe for last year. Ohio State went in there and beat them pretty good, 45-24. They had 291 yards rushing. So Oklahoma's task is to slow down that rushing attack, but it'll be interesting to see that defensive line for Ohio State. One of the best defensive lines in the country going up against one of the best offensive lines in the country from Oklahoma.
Just about everybody has the Buckeyes in their top 4 for the playoff. Long way away. It'll be here before you know it, though.
Taking their time with Terrell Edmonds, trying to get him stretched out. Will Greer's had a pretty good night, partner. 344 yards passing. He's thrown it downfield. Had 2 beautiful touchdowns to Sills on rub routes. That's the second one there on the inside. And then he started to get some confidence with Jennings in the middle of the field on Edmonds. You wonder if Edmonds has kind of run out of gas here as he's been chasing these guys downfield. No Florida quarterback has more than 330 yards passing since 2010. Guess who that was?
I'm guessing Will Greer.
Tim Tebow, 482 yards. Yeah.
Greer back, you know, the Florida sample size is not a good one. It's just 6 games, 5 starts, but he had a lot of good first halves and didn't play particularly well in those second halves. Completion percentage be weighed out, but as we showed you before, he's had a much better second half numbers here tonight.
Terrell Edmonds played a heck of a game. He started out hot. They asked him to do quite a bit, covering man-to-man in the slot, and he was on fire in the first half. And unfortunately for him and for the Hokies defensively, he's kind of run out of gas here. It doesn't look like he's going to be able to come back in this game unless they take him in and get him an IV.
And the coaches said he's their best player, not best defensive player. He's their best football player. Terrell Edmonds.
They said his brother right there, Tremaine, is the most physical, imposing-looking player at 6'5", 250, but Terrell is a complete player from the secondary.
West Virginia has 513 total yards of offense against this Virginia Tech defense, and they're looking for more. Greer firing for Gary Jennings, got turned around. Greer knows it.
Yeah, that's a missed opportunity. And I think Will Greer knows that he had Jennings. Now Jennings is getting a little bit cramped up there. He's been running a lot down the field. They haven't been able to stop him, but yeah, he's going to have to go down.
Wow. Temperatures have dipped into the 60s here right now. Earlier in the day, they were in the high 70s.
Even I'm not sweating, Levy.
Quite a statement.
Well, it doesn't have to be hot to cramp, right? I mean, these guys, they haven't played in a football game, right? Practice is one thing, and you condition in the offseason and all that. But Jennings has been running routes down the field. Edmonds has been covering him down the field. It's no surprise those two guys are cramping.
Targeted 18 times, Jennings. So he's doing a lot of running tonight. And Edmonds doing a lot of chasing. The only other game in college football tonight, out at the Rose Bowl, UCLA and Texas A&M.
What's going on?
How about A&M up 44-24? But here come the Bruins. Josh Rosen slips one through.
The English.
Darren Andrews on the receiving end. Just over 8 minutes to play there. Things are tightening up just a little bit. We'll keep you posted on that. Of course, not as tight as they are here. But we're 24-24. And players are dropping it all over the place. Told you the Redskins will take over the place next Sunday here at FedEx Field. They'll have their home opener against the Philadelphia Eagles. And then Monday Night Football gets into business. Our annual doubleheader on the opening Monday night, the Saints and Vikings. Note that start time. Coverage begins 6:55 Eastern, then the nightcap, the Chargers and the Broncos. All the coverage begins. Susie and the gang. Monday Night Countdown at 5 p.m. Eastern. And as always, with everything, streaming live on the ESPN app.
Looking forward to watching my Broncos. They made a decision at quarterback. Going to go with Trevor Siemian over Paxton Lynch, the former pupil of Justin Fuente.
Brock Osweiler back in the mix.
Yeah, imagine that.
I've enjoyed your work on the preseason broadcast for the Broncos too.
Thanks for tuning in.
I tune in every time. Second down and 10. Swing it to Kennedy McCoy. And all that for a gain of 1. Settle made the tackle. Bring up a third down now. Approaching 10 minutes to play here in the fourth. Tied at 24. Number 21 against number 22. Pretty much what you would expect. To reignite this rivalry.
I'm Jake Spavital. I'm going right in the slot to target the replacement for Terrell Edmonds.
Watch for that. That's push in motion. Top of your screen on 3rd and 8. Here's Greer. Under some pressure, rolling and throwing. And completing to Reggie Roberson. Mook Reynolds came up to make the stop. He's a little short of the marker.
Yeah, and a decision for Dana Holgerson. In a tie ball game just over the 50-yard line. 4th and short, and he's going to punt it. Interesting. That's not... I would have thought he would have gone for it there.
And Kinney has already banged up the punter. We've seen him limp off the field a couple of times. Put his foot into this one. Greg Stroman will let it bounce. And it'll be down at about the 14-yard line.
Oh yeah, Kinney, he's hopping on one leg right now.
It's been a tough night all around. Except for the fans, they're enjoying this one. Tied under 9 to play.
What is the power?
You're watching the Capital One Sunday night kickoff game. Thanks for spending some of your Labor Day weekend with us this Sunday night. So far, so good. Tied at 24. Both quarterbacks have been on the money, especially here in the second half. Jackson off the play fake, steps up and throws, and it's knocked away. Mike Daniels on the coverage. Eric Kuma looking for a flag, and there is your comparison.
Yeah, Josh Jackson's had a little bit more support from the run game, but Will Greer's been on fire here in the second half. And it's been a clean game. There's been no turnovers from these two guys. Will Greer had 1 interception, but that was a 4th down. I don't even qualify that. So it's been a pretty clean game.
The pass protection has been terrific for both sides, I think. Both quarterbacks have hardly been hit tonight. Here's Jackson. He's going to take a hit here. Jackson cuts it inside and has first down yardage before he's knocked down to the 30. Gain of 11.
One of the most underrated qualities in a quarterback is competitiveness, right? And Josh Jackson, you can tell this kid's a competitor. He's running back to the middle of the field where there's 11 Rydells coming over there ready to hit him. He knows he's going to get hit, but he's a competitor through and through.
And another player is down. This time it's Al-Rashid Benton.
Well, that's their leader on defense from that linebacker position.
The only returning starter in that front six, and he was one of the guys that made a big deal about the trophy, the Black Diamond Trophy. It's important to him.
Yep.
And that's what this rivalry game is all about. That Black Diamond Trophy that will be awarded after the game tonight. Jackson has rushed for 41 yards on 9 carries. We'll see more great college football tomorrow night. This is the way to close out 5-star Labor Day weekend. 25th ranked Tennessee against Georgia Tech in the Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta. Coverage starts at 8 p.m. Eastern on ESPN, also streaming live on the ESPN app. So you know they have a Chick-fil-A in the new building there.
Oh, yeah?
And you know the store in Chick-fil-A, they're closed on Sundays.
Yep, know that.
Could be an issue since that's the Falcons' home.
Well, it's not going to be an issue tomorrow. It's Monday night.
No,
they're
not
open
tomorrow.
on Labor Day, right?
But for the Falcons, I think they have one primetime matchup, maybe a Thursday night game.
Interesting. What do you think was the philosophy behind that?
You know, they're going to do concerts. They'll have other sporting events there. But the main tenet is clearly the Falcons rise up, just not for a chicken sandwich on Sundays.
Chick-fil-A is huge in Atlanta. They got to have a presence. It's probably more for marketing than anything else, right?
I think they're going to be just fine. They're going to do just fine.
I love Chick-fil-A. Speaking of, they need to get some water in these guys. These guys are in the huddle. They need to get Gatorade, water. Everybody on both of these teams needs to be drinking as much as they can right now.
You know, you kind of mocked McShay and I. We were talking about the temperature, but if it was 90 degrees, you'd expect to see more cramping.
Oh, yeah.
So the heat is a factor.
He definitely is a factor, but it's not the only factor.
Right.
I mean, the amount of running that these guys are doing is a lot more than they're used to, and there's no way to get back into game shape other than play a game.
No two-a-days in camp.
Yeah.
So they go the extra week, so maybe that's a factor now leading up to the season.
Look at you, right?
All these college coaches, they want to get the joint practices now, like the NFL big boys are doing, thinking that might help. We'll see how that shakes out in the future. I pay attention, Grease.
You should do it. Pay attention here, big play.
First down and 10. Here's Jackson. More time. Throws. Finds a man across the middle. It's Sean Savoy. He's across midfield for a big gain. Again, great protection for Jackson. Gain of 23.
Savoy is a true freshman, and because of a lot of these guys going down, not a lot of depth behind Cam Phillips, they're asking him to play.
And Virginia Tech going quickly. It's Jackson right up the middle. Josh Jackson. Will they catch him behind? They will. He is upended shy of the goal line. Jackson will get up slowly and shake his head. What an explosive burst.
He has got a 4th down conversion with this play, a touchdown with this play, and now he has broken this game open with this play. 47-yard run up the gut on the quarterback power. It's been Josh Jackson with his legs and his arm in this drive, showing you what he's got.
7.5 to play here in the 4th. First and goal.
I might take a timeout right here.
5 seconds to snap it.
I mean, your quarterback just ran all the way down the field.
They snap it, they get it off. Play action, lofts one in the end zone. Looking for Cam Phillips, and he gets the flag. 2 flags for the price of 1. Mike Daniels on the coverage.
Pass interference. Defense. Number 4. Half the distance to the goal. Automatic. First down.
That'll give Jackson a breather.
More than anything, you just want him to. It's hard when you run that far down the field and then the clock's running down. Good call there on Daniels.
Easy one. West Virginia flagged for the 8th time tonight. Virginia Tech has just been penalized twice.
This is where they like to use Peoples, 5'9", 220. But McMillan's in the game. Yeah, that's.
And they hand it through to McMillan. There is a flag down at the 10-yard line.
Yeah, you're down there. You can't go on a quick count.
Offense, number 57. 5-yard penalty, first down.
And that could be Justin Fuente. It could be Josh Jackson. But on the goal line, you never use a hard count and you never use a quick count because those big linemen, they're getting up there. They're getting in their stance. They can't hear. It's loud. You always go on one inside the 5-yard line. It's not fair to the big guys.
Even though the defenders know you're going on one, too.
I mean, listen, hey, you got everybody knows, right? You're going to snap the ball. You just got to beat your man.
First and goal. Push him back to the 6. A little Statue of Liberty deal to McMillan for a couple. Second down and goal. Toyus Avery came up to make the pop.
I know Justin Fuente wants to protect his quarterback and not run him as much as what he told us. Didn't want to run him as much as Gerard Evans, but with their most successful play tonight in short yardage situations has been that quarterback power. They've already got one touchdown run on it. You might think about it right here.
Dalton Keene, the tight end, comes in on second and goal. Handed off to McMillan. Did he get there? He did. Crosses the plane. Touchdown. And the Hokies go back on top.
Nijman and Teller on that left side. That's the experience. 57 and 69. This has been a game of attrition. Guys are dropping, points are being scored, and defenses are tired. And that was as impressive a drive as I've seen this whole weekend right there from Virginia Tech, with a young quarterback making his first start. You got a true freshman receiver making a big play. You got a big run, and then an offensive line that finishes inside the 5-yard line. That's something Virginia Tech can build on.
6 plays, 82 yards. And Josh Jackson's 46-yard burst up the middle, the key play. Joey Slye on for the extra point to make it a 7-point game. Will Grier will get the football next. McMillan scores going into the end zone. But it was the youngster, Josh Jackson, right up the middle. That led to the touchdown.
Looking for adventure this Labor Day?
Holy smokes. Oh man, that's pretty intense.
Look no further than Chevrolet.
This is a fast car. I feel like I left my soul back there.
Wow, this has power. Head to the Chevy Labor Day sales event and ride out the summer in a new Chevrolet. Current Chevy owners can use Labor Day bonus cash to get a total value of $11,600 on this Silverado All-Star, or get 0% financing for 72 months on all Tahoe and Suburban models. Find new roads at the Chevy Labor Day sales event.
What is greatness?
Greatness is playing your heart out to the very last.
What's on the line? Well, it's a whole lot more than that, but it is about the Black Diamond Trophy, which Virginia Tech has had for the last 12 years because they haven't played. And West Virginia definitely wants to take that back to Morgantown. 6.5 to go. Out of the end zone as usual by Slye, and the touchback. So there's a Twitter handle, Black Diamond Trophy. This was back on June 6, 2015 it started. They updated it, and they update it every single day. That's 2016, and then today it was updated. Virginia Tech has held the Black Diamond Trophy 4,719 days at Black Diamond Trophy. They're verified. Their Twitter account is verified, and yours isn't, Greasy. How's that possible?
Is that the check mark?
Yeah, the blue check. Here's Grier firing for Karan White. Goes up for it and couldn't bring it down. In fact, Adonis Alexander thought he should have intercepted the pass.
Boy, and I think this is going to be the strategy through the rest of this game for Will Grier, Jake Spavital. Test this secondary for Virginia Tech in man coverage downfield. They're dropping. Alexander with a great play there. How much do they have left in the tank?
From the 25, again, Grier, the quick out to Gary Jennings. Gets back 5 yards of them. West Virginia's had terrible starting field position. They have not started beyond their own 27 all game. They've been dealing with a long field like they have here, and it's 3rd and 5.
It's great to have Gary Jennings back in the game. That's a win. Got some fluids in him. He's got 11 catches, almost 180 yards tonight.
They've targeted him 19 times. Here's 3rd and 5. Grier under pressure, gets rid of it, and overthrows Jennings. Luke Reynolds on the coverage.
Great read by Mook Reynolds. They tried to trick him. They threw the bubble screen to Jennings on 2nd down. And on 3rd down, they tried to fool Reynolds with a little bubble screen pump and go. And Reynolds wasn't buying.
And Grier took a rare shot. Neither quarterback has been hit much tonight. Tim Settle put a lick on him there. 4th and 5. Billy Kinney will try to squeeze another punt out of that right leg. And Strowman will call for the fair catch at the 34. Hokies are fired up. 7-point lead. They've got the football after the 36-yard punt.
Well, we started the night comparing young Josh Jackson to Michael Vick, the last freshman to start the season for the Hokies. And you know what? We thought there was no way he could live up to the stats of Michael Vick. Well, so far, Josh Jackson's holding his own just fine.
Vick threw the ball 6 times, huh? For 110 yards. Amazing. Virginia Tech, they lead in this game by 7 for the 3rd time. West Virginia has had the lead only once, and that was 7-3 way back in the 2nd quarter. An eternity ago. Here's Trayvon McMillan has the 1st down. And the clock spins down. 5:46 to play here in the 4th, Todd.
Well, the 2 players that were the biggest question marks coming in were the quarterbacks. Grier for West Virginia, 694 days not playing. And then this is the first game that Jackson's ever played. I'll tell you what, they've been the stars of this game. And Jackson, his toughness and his consistency has really impressed me for such a young quarterback.
Flag flies. Hokies are pointing. Both sides are pointing at each other now. And we'll let these Big Ten officials sort it out.
False start. Offense, number 69. 5-yard penalty, 1st down.
Like Nijman was reacting to the defensive tackle that jumped off sides, and Justin Fuente not happy about it. But Todd's talking about Josh Jackson. I got to give a little love to this offensive line for Virginia Tech.
Coach for Virginia Tech. That's his 1st of the game. 15-yard penalty. Remains 1st down.
Now that's even.
Yeah, it's a point of emphasis. It's this year, these officials, the point of emphasis, coaches being on the field. They're going to be very aware when these coaches are trying to plead their case. You can't come out on the field.
Dana Holgerson got one earlier. Now it's Justin Fuente's turn. And again, a 2nd one would earn you an ejection, much like a player. That'll work the same way for the head coach. It's 1st and 30. I was just going to ask you, this is where you go to a 4-minute offense, try to win this football game and put it away. But now you're facing a 1st and 30. Just over 5 minutes to play. And passing. And wanting to stay in bounds, I would think, is Cam Phillips. Got a lot of the penalty yardage back.
I was just going to say, you know, this offensive line for Virginia Tech needs some credit tonight, too. Up front, they have taken over in the 2nd half. Nijman, the left tackle. Teller, we talked about, an animal at left guard. Eric Gallo, you know, making all these calls. It's a very complicated defense for West Virginia. He's played outstanding in this game. There's a reason why those holes are open for Josh Jackson to run through.
Got 14 to the 30 back. Jackson throwing. Far side, and they'll get some more yardage. Sean Savoy makes the grab. Of the true freshman, he's expected to play the most in this offense, and Savoy certainly has been a factor. 4 catches, 42 yards so far. 3rd and 9. Again, the penalty on their own coach puts them in a big hole here.
Yep, they've chipped away at it. First down, got 10. Second down, now they at least are in a situation where they can try to get a first down.
Just 3 for 14 in 3rd down conversions. Jackson will take the play clock all the way down to 2. Facing some pressure, throws it up. Got man-on-man coverage and got a pass interference call. Elijah Battle will get flagged. Cam Phillips was the intended receiver.
Well, Tony Gibson came with an all-out blitz, and Josh Jackson just threw it up.
Interference. Defense, number 19, 15-yard penalty. Automatic. First down.
And that's just inexperience from Battle. I mean, he's playing for the first time. He's a senior, but he hadn't played a whole lot, and that's clearly a flag. I mean, that looked like he hadn't been coached.
And a little extra emphasis from our referee, Jerry McGinn, on that first down call. I think he's had about just enough from both head coaches, both sidelines. This, hey, it's been a testy affair. Would you have it any other way between these two?
Great rivalry.
Whose idea was it to stop this rivalry? They're going to play again, a home and home upcoming, and then go silent again, unfortunately. 9th penalty on the Mountaineers. 85 penalty yards. Here's Jackson turning the corner. And there's a smart youngster. He'll take the slide, stay in bounds, and not take a shot.
You think about what Josh Jackson has done on the last 2 drives. He went right down the field and scored a touchdown with his legs and his arm in the previous drive. This time he bails his coach out and chips away, gets a first down, and now he's checking at the line of scrimmage. He's making plays with his legs. He's coming down and this kid is doing everything right now. It's very impressive.
And bleeding the clock down to now 3.5. With the lead and with the football, Jackson has rushed for 102 yards tonight on his 11 carries. Good idea. Give him a breather. Give it to somebody else. Keep it on the ground to Trayvon McMillan. And a little pushing and shoving after the play. Bring him a second down.
I'm Justin Fuente. I don't go into a shell right here. I'm not thinking 4-minute offense. There's a very explosive offense on the other side. My defense has been shredded by Will Grier for over 350 yards passing and 3 touchdowns. I'm trying to score a touchdown here and ice this game.
And the ground game is working. They've got 228 yards on the ground against this Tony Gibson defense. 2nd and 8. Hand off to Sean Daniel. I beg your pardon, James Clark with his first touch. And I'll bring up a 3rd down.
It's been a great game.
Great game. Both teams with all 3 timeouts remaining, as you can see. And we anticipate every game this crew gets being this entertaining all season long. And we look forward to bringing it to you. Each and every Saturday or Sunday night, however it shakes out. What do you got?
I might go back to Cam Phillips to the well one more time on Battle. He's got him man-to-man.
3rd down and 5. McMillan won't get to the marker. Timeout. West Virginia takes the timeout. Have to think they'd kick here, make it a 2-score game. You do have to think that, right? Pretty silent.
You took my silence as a question.
You left me hanging a little. That's not like you.
Yes, make it a 2-score game. Well, we came into this game thinking that Josh Jackson was going to throw the ball a little bit more potentially in this offense, but we didn't expect him to run the ball as much. And he has been outstanding on the ground. You know, with his legs, his feet, he's not a burner, but he's got a really good feel. It seems like he finds the holes. Now, it's been really well blocked up front, but he's got a little wiggle to him, some speed to the outside.
And if you didn't know, to me, he plays like a junior.
Yes.
He plays much more experienced than a redshirt freshman to my eye.
Yep. You know, he was recruited to Virginia Tech not by Justin Fuente. It was actually Scott Loeffler still working for Frank Beamer. And one of the first things Justin Fuente did when he got the job was go up and visit Josh Jackson, Fred Jackson, and Teresa Jackson in their home and try to convince him to stay. He was being recruited by some other folks, and he decided Justin Fuente was the guy for him.
So is this the reason for your silence?
Surprised he's going for it here.
4th and 1.
Might just try to draw him off sides.
We'll watch for that. Got to think West Virginia will watch for that too.
And he's going to call a timeout. It's worth a shot.
There you have it. Yeah, why not?
But yeah, that was probably the biggest recruiting win that Justin Fuente got when he first took the job, was keeping this kid from going somewhere else.
Lose the recruiter, get the recruit. Right? Leffler moving on to Boston College.
That's right.
Scored a big win the other night over Northern Illinois. Coming up, we'll have the Ford wrap-up show. Kevin, Mac, and Booger, they're on hand. Good to see those guys face to face. And they'll have complete game analysis. And you know, in the first half, it didn't look like there was a whole lot going on. 10-7 into the locker room. Wow, it's been a different story, 3rd and 4th quarter.
Yeah, it's been a story of conditioning here in the second half. Honestly, these defenses have gotten tired. And there's Boog. You know, Boog and I were teammates down at Buccaneers.
Did not know that.
Yeah, I've much preferred being a teammate of Booger than to be an opponent of him. He and Warren Sapp were quite the duo.
I bet. Joey Sly on for a 32-yard attempt. They got a 2-score game, and no good.
That's the second
missed
one
it.
He's missed.
Wow. Missed from 38, and now missed from 31. And Sly in that range last season was just about automatic. Was 6 of 7. Threatening Shane Graham's all-time records as kicker, field goals, points.
And he's missed them the same way, Steve. They
Come
both
up
have been
tonight.
pushed. You know, they both pushed outside the right upright.
To the right, yeah.
Snap good, hold good by Bradburn.
Don't go anywhere, folks. 1-score game. Minute 55 to play. Holgerson knows his squad is still in it. Will Greer off the draw to Kennedy McCoy, and he's got the first down. West Virginia still has 2 timeouts left at their disposal.
Boy, this is where this defense has to find something left in that lunch pail.
Sometimes your pass rush can win the game late in the 4th quarter if you have any gas left in the tank. Here's Greer. No pressure. Down the sideline, and the man wide open. And Karan White could not hang on. Critical stick by Adonis Alexander. White had it and then felt Alexander and couldn't hang on.
It's a great example of how you hit a receiver without having targeting, right? You come with your shoulder, you don't hit in the head or neck area. That's perfectly played by Adonis Alexander. Brings up 2nd down.
And a great point by you on the way to make that hit. Can still be effective. Draw play again to McCoy, and again he has a first down. Out to the 44-yard line. Gain of 13 on the play. Clock spinning down, under 120 now. Still with 2 timeouts left. Greer to throw, some late pressure. Now he'll step up and run. Has the first down. And a minute 6 left. They'll move the chains and start the clock again.
If I'm Jake Spavital, I'm telling Will Greer to continue to run. You know, quarterbacks are the ones that aren't running around. They have gas left in their legs. Everybody else is done.
60 ticks left. Here's Greer throwing sideline. And White couldn't bring that down. Again, it's the coverage by Alexander. And the incompletion gives them a breather on defense, too.
And that's been the matchup of the game, really. White has had some big plays today, but we've also seen Adonis Alexander, number 36, come up with some big plays late, especially on this drive. Really impressed with the way those two have battled.
It's a good time out there from Justin Fuente, knowing that his defense, they go 3 or 4 plays in a row with the way that they're throwing the ball down the field, that these guys need a break. And I wouldn't be surprised if he uses the rest of his timeouts here on this drive forget about time. He just wants his guys with a little breath and some water in them so that they can play their scheme the way they know how to play it. That's a point, about quarterbacks running, Steve, in the fourth quarter of these kind of games that I don't think is coached enough. That those quarterbacks, they are the ones that should have enough juice left to make guys miss, and guys are rushing upfield and you're running down the field. There's a huge gap there for quarterbacks to run.
Oh, it's been an outstanding football game. So glad you're with us on this Sunday night Labor Day weekend for this series that started back in 1912. Greer, quick throw, quick catch to Gary Jennings, and he's brought down at the 37 by Divine Diablo. 50 seconds left. And West Virginia will spend a timeout. Each team is down to one.
That's an interesting timeout there. You just had a timeout, so you don't need the breath, and you have 2 more downs here. You got to use 2 more downs to get a first down. So an interesting time for Dana Holgorsen to call that timeout. You still need 7 points, so still at the 37-yard line. Bud Foster dialed up pressure on that last one, Steve. I think he might try to do the same here. Force the hand of West Virginia.
31 years, Bud Foster has seen it all. He's been in every situation. So nothing will surprise him. 3rd and 5, 50 seconds left. West Virginia trailing by 7. Greer going for it. And nearly intercepted. Wanted to hit David Sills. And Diablo was there to break it up and nearly picked it off.
Boy, Divine Diablo had an opportunity to slam the door on this game. He should have made that play. That was thrown into double coverage, and Will Greer is lucky that wasn't intercepted. Last opportunity, 4th down.
Here you go. 1 for 2 on 4th downs in the game. Greer getting out of there. Needs 5. He's got it. Got the first down. And he signals to the crowd.
Yeah, now you got to get up and clock it. Can't be celebrating. You got to get up and run the next play. You got 36 seconds.
Clock stops on the first down. Now they're set. It runs. Half minute to go. Greer throwing sideline. White has it, and he'll get out. Just short of the first down. Couldn't ask for much more than this in the season opener and the renewal of this great rivalry. Number 22 against number 21. Greer under pressure, and he's taken down. He is sacked. Brought down by Motua Puwaka. Critical sack, his 11th tackle of the game.
Bud Foster decided to bring the pressure again. They're going to bring this twist dog right here with the linebackers, Tremaine Edmonds. 1 of 2 ways to approach it, right? You can sit back in zone and let 3 guys rush and Will Greer pick you apart, or you come after him, and those 2 linebackers, Motua Puwaka and Tremaine Edmonds, they still got a little gas left in that tank of the lunch pail.
Frank Beamer saying that's exactly the way I would have coached it up. Starts to feel like Lane Stadium in Blacksburg a little bit. Play of the drive upcoming. Greer looks to his right. In trouble now. Has to get out of there. And does. He'll have the first down. 11 seconds left.
Yeah, you got to get up there.
Got the first down.
Yep.
Clock will start as soon as they set the ball. Snap it. And the spike.
Well, he lost 2 seconds there on the spike, and probably another 3 or 4 seconds by staying in bounds. I think he knows that he should have gotten out of bounds on that run. I don't think that the defender was allowing him to get outside. So they'll teach those defenders to keep the guys in bounds.
Virginia Tech has taken their last timeout. There are no more in the game. 9 seconds left. West Virginia by 7.
I could take a look at the end of this run and see if he could have got out of bounds and saved himself some time. Does a nice job moving around, avoiding the sack. Now it's all about running. Can he get to the outside? No, that's great job by that lunch pail defense, keeping him in bounds.
West Virginia down 7 with the ball. 9 seconds left. Out of timeouts.
So you don't necessarily need to throw the ball to the end zone, okay? You don't need to throw it to the end zone. You can throw it to the outside and get out of bounds, or you can decide to throw. You got two shots at it. That's about all you got.
Greer has gone to Karan White just about every time for a big play. Sills has a couple of touchdown catches. Jennings has made big plays. Here's Greer. Throwing. End zone. It was there. It was open and couldn't be handled. I believe it was too low for David Sills, but you saw it open up. The lane was there. 2 seconds left.
No question, he bought just enough time. Sills found his way, wiggled his way through the middle of the field. You got to forget about that one if you're Will Greer. You got one more chance. Extend the play with your legs if you're Will Greer. Allow your guys to get to the end zone, and then you got to take your shot.
Here we go. Final play. Regulation. And there's a flag. And there's another flag. Incomplete. We'll check the marker. There are 3 penalty flags on the field. 0's on the clock.
Multiple fouls on the offense. Holding. Offense, number 79. Penalty for crime. Personal foul. Illegal block, number 79. Crime. Game is over.
Hey, Jerry, don't worry about that third one. He had to get out of there. What a finish. What a ball game.
Unbelievable. What a great way to start. What a great way to kind of wake up this rivalry, right? And then people look at this game and say, maybe we should play this a little bit more often.
Think? Give me some more of this.
We saw gut checks in the second half. Defense has got a gut check. That Virginia Tech defense gave up a lot of plays. And the star of the game, Josh Jackson, in my mind. Unbelievable game for first time out against an unbelievable defense. And there's his dad, Freddie. You know, he wore 17, right? He wore 17 because his dad wore 17. He was a quarterback at Jackson State, graduated in 1971. In fact, Walter Payton was a freshman on that team, and he went to the NFL, got a chance in the NFL, and they didn't want him, they wouldn't let him play quarterback. And he thought it was because of the color of his skin.
Yep.
And his son said, I'm going to wear 17, and I'm going to play quarterback, and I'm going to do it for my old man. And then what a way to start.
Josh Jackson, 235 yards passing, 101 yards rushing, and I believe you'll agree the biggest part, turnovers, goose egg.
Yep.
Coach, we'll start with you. Bring us through the emotion of that game in the second half.
Yards were hard to come by to start with, and then they came in bunches. It was back and forth. We knew it would be a hard-fought game. Our kids battled really hard. West Virginia's got to have this start.
Right now, let's go to the field. Here's Todd McShay with the winning coach.
Coach, it's chaos here for obvious reasons. Take us through the emotions in the second half.
Just so many ups and downs. It seemed like First half, nobody could really get anything going offensively. In the second half, things opened up, and we knew it was going to be a tough game. West Virginia's got a very good team.
How about your young quarterback? First time starting, first time playing in a college football game to have that performance.
Well, let me tell you what, he was raised right, first of all, and he's just done everything we've ever asked him to do. He's a great young man.
Fred, what are you feeling right now? First time you get to see him play a collegiate game, and this is the outcome.
I feel great because he managed the game. They protected him a lot on some of their calls. I saw that. But once they let him do a couple of things, gets more confident in what he's done. I thought he played very well.
How nervous were you in the fourth quarter?
As I could get, as nervous as I could get. I was messed up, really.
How about you, Josh? The first time you said to us nothing would be better than rushing in my first touchdown. You pulled that off, and then you get the victory. What are you feeling right now?
I mean, it's an amazing feeling to give the seniors a great win like this to start off the season. But, I mean, we're just getting started. It's a great trophy game, great rivalry. It's awesome. That's all I can really say.
Congratulations. Thank you very much. Great to see you.
Kid gets it, right? Great win for the seniors, right?
Yeah.
Kid's been coached up well.
Once a coach, always a coach,
right?
Fred Jackson.
Coach's kid. Wow. Virginia Tech, they've held the Black Diamond Trophy for 12 years. Why not keep it for another? We welcome you now to the Ford Wrap-Up Show. Going to send it down to Kevin, Mac, and Booger. What a game here in Landover tonight, fellas.
Leaves, I just want to say one thing. I love college football. What we just witnessed in the last 30 minutes here at FedEx Field and in Pasadena with that UCLA comeback, it's been fantastic. And you know Josh's dad. What do you think a night like this? We heard him talk about it, but you know him personally. What does a night like this mean to him to watch his son on the big stage for the first time and pull out a win?
Well, Fred was a longtime running back coach at Michigan for Lloyd Carr and all those guys, and he's a great guy, a tremendous father, and we have children. There's no better moment than seeing your child grow up and win for his team, because we said these two quarterbacks had to grow up. I think we saw two really good football teams tonight. I'm impressed with Will Greer. He came back and played well, and this is why you love college football. It's so much fun.
Well, no doubt about it. It's amazing when you have a quarterback. He started out kind of slow. You heard his dad say when they let him open up, when they let him do some things, he was able to get into the game. His legs opened his arm up. And to me, when you have a dual threat quarterback, you always have a chance with your offense.
And the coaches did a good job helping him. Here's Fred coaching him on the sideline here saying, yeah, they helped him a little bit. They used his feet. So Fred's coaching him as they're going back to the bench. But Virginia Tech's going to have him a good quarterback moving forward in the future.
And Leaves and Greasy talk about this. And for a coach, what does it mean that you have a quarterback in his first game, no turnovers? Here's the fourth quarter highlight as we saw Virginia Tech. The Black Diamond Trophy is going to stay in Blacksburg. And this is just, they decide to finally run the football here, Booger, and you love this decision.
Virginia Tech got a little bit more physical. Then you get the missed field goal. Things start to snowball in their favor.
West Virginia fighting their way back in this. An opportunity there for a catch to tie it up. And then you come down to the final play. Give Virginia Tech credit. They hung in there and they kept them all out of the end zone.
And we'd be remiss if we didn't talk about how gutsy Will Greer was tonight.
He played good.
I know they lost, but I think West Virginia has a quarterback that shows some guts, shows some moxie, shows he's willing to do the things to win games in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, these two teams are going to be prevalent in their conferences. So Big 12 and ACC, you better look out. Those guys getting after each other tonight.
And the most important thing, I know conference alignment, things have shifted. I'm glad they're playing this game again after 12 years. You felt it in the stadium. We had a great game. In Pasadena, it was bananas. UCLA down 44-10 against Texas A&M, and here's Josh Rosen with his Heisman moment.
The Dan Marino fake spike play. How about that? Josh Rosen, UCLA comes all the way back, and now the rumors get louder for Kevin Sumlin after blowing this one, Coach.
One of the worst things a coach can have happen to him is have one slip away and feel the momentum changing, and you can't change it back. And he lost his quarterback. He's got a young freshman in there. They couldn't throw it. what a heartbreaking loss for them.
There is the Black Diamond Trophy, and there is Frank Beamer, legendary head coach of the Hokies
Pretty
for
good
years.
smile, I think, for him.
He loves it.
The trophy is heavier than Frank is right now. Look at it. He can't even hold the trophy up.
No, I told Frank he looks good, makes the rest of us look bad. But he even had the coin toss, and he flipped it, and Virginia Tech won it.
Exactly.
So I knew that special night for Frank and Coach Nalen.
Hey, back to what we just saw at UCLA, Texas A&M. With the pressure going into the game, it was the hot seat game, the hot seat bowl game for the coaches here. What is Kevin Sumlin facing now going back to College Station after that?
Do you know, really and truly, every coach is on the hot seat every week. It's changed.
But
it is. But this is the first game of the year. If he wins the rest of them, we'll be talking about if his quarterback gotten hurt, he'll be fine.
Yeah,
if
but
he
this
loses,
is different.
If he loses, he will. But we can't talk about hot seat first week.
Coach, you're coaching. Come on, Coach. This is different, though, man.
It's not different. It's not different. Give them a chance through the year.
I'd like to let the audience know when it was 44-10. There was one guy that stood by with his UCLA pick.
Who was that?
Oh, yeah.
Who was that? Are you serious?
You said what fool would have picked UCLA? and now you're jumping out.
Hey, Steve, I got that one right, though.
Are you kidding me?
You played 4 quarters. I got it right. Back to you.
Never a doubt, Nagandi. I think they were down by 34 at one point. Wow. What a game. Couple of great games across college football tonight. What a night for the Virginia Tech family. They beat West Virginia 31-24. Hokies have to go home now and try to get ready for Delaware. West Virginia goes home. We'll see East Carolina next. We saw more than 10,050 total yards and an incredible second half. For Brian Greasy, Todd McShay, and our entire crew, I'm Steve Levy. So long, just outside our nation's capital.
You've been watching the Ford Wrap-Up, presented by the 2018 Ford Escape. Always unstoppable.